Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Renegade Arcade live stream. I am your host, Kiona. With me, I have the number one Aloy fanboy,
I
Mr.
am
Brock.
I can't even with that. Guerrilla Games, you are beautiful bastards. That's not all I have to say, but that's all I'll say for
Um,
right now.
I'm sorry. In honor of more console, I have to say you are beautiful bastards. There you
Bastards.
go. Okay,
Yes.
and we have Lady Tyler Rescue. Tyler, how's it going, my friend?
See, there you are. Couldn't help it.
She was just screaming at me and trying to kill me the whole time, and I loved every minute of it. Thank you, Lady D. You're awesome.
Yes, there is 6 minutes
Maggie
of uncut
Robertson.
lines for that. She's amazing.
Have you seen the YouTube video of her? Like first of all, Alana Pierce interviewed Maggie Robertson this week, and the voice actress behind Lady D, and also she read like the most famous lines or something. They did like a YouTube video of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, IGN
The
gave
Jill
her like
sandwich lines
the
and all
best
that
lines
stuff.
of Resident Evil, where it's just like, "What you buying? Jill Sandwich, Master of Unlocking." It was great.
That's great. I love how geeky she is. She's amazing.
Yeah, she knows Baby Yoda's name. That's how you know.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, Grogu.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh yes, my Grogu."
All right, guys. So we are here to talk about. First of all, we're going to do our little segment called Insert Coin. That is our news segment. So we're going to be talking about the news here to start off. And we got a lot of news because today was like the big pre-E3 day where everybody just blows their load all at once or something. Because what the hell is going on, guys? Other than Nintendo, Nintendo's been pretty quiet lately.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing we'll probably hear a lot from them.
They'll do a direct.
Come E3 or something. Yeah, Nintendo Direct. So let me get this out of the way first here. We're going to talk about some Sonic news because Sonic is a big freaking deal here. So they had a Sonic Central live stream, which is basically a Sonic Direct. And Sega is essentially just redoubling down on this on our favorite hedgehog because we got a lot of stuff coming within the next couple of years, man. We have a Netflix animated series called Sonic Prime, which is being done by Man of Action. Man of Action, who used to write the X-Men comics, like Duncan Rouleau back in the day in like 99 or so, I want to say. Like back when I was reading them religiously or semi-religiously as much as I could with the money that I had at the time. Duncan Rouleau was the artist on like either Uncanny or regular X-Men. Joe Kelly was the writer on X-Men. Stephen T. Siegel, also of Man of Action, he was writing Uncanny X-Men at the time. He wrote some really cool things too. They did that overly narrated style before, like this was before Grant Morrison came in and the movies came in, and they started to stop doing all the narrative captions. But like the way that he did it, it was like almost like a horror book.
Nice.
Because he had like the murder of crows and everything following them on like a trip to like Alaska or something. It was pretty cool. Joe Kelly did more like humorous stories and stuff like that, so that was neat. And then Joe Casey came in during the Morrison years, and he wrote X-Men. So anyway, comic book stuff. But you know, I'm just a giant nerd. So,
as we all are.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, they're gonna do Sonic Prime. That should be interesting. That should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, I trust them. Out of any collective of writers, I think Man of Action is a good one. So. We're going to see that in 2022 on Netflix, 24 episode season. Don't have a specific release date yet, but they didn't show any footage either, so I'm guessing it's still a ways out.
Yeah.
We're also getting Sonic Colors Ultimate, which is, if you guys enjoy Sonic Colors, that was like, I believe it was like, what was it, like a Wii game?
Yes.
I think it was on the Wii. Back in the day.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty decent things, I would say. We also have another Sonic collection, Sonic Origins, which will be Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and then Sonic CD. So for all of you guys who did not play those games or want to go back and revisit them, like I do, that should be fun.
CD's probably the best of those bunch because like I'm not gonna get a Sega CD just to replay that.
Nope. Yeah, I mean they've all been re-released like numerous times throughout the years, but it's still pretty cool to see them. Yeah, to see them on the current gen consoles. We also have a new Sonic Team game coming out in 2022. Hopefully, it'll be good.
What was the last major one?
I don't even remember, dude.
Please tell me it was not Sonic Boom.
I think it was Sonic Boom.
oh god, that'd be like 8 years ago, and
I think it
Harbinger of
was.
Doom.
I mean, I don't even know. Like, I would suggest anybody who's interested in like, like there's a video that Cameron actually shared in one of the animation episodes, which was about the animation in Sonic games, which was quite interesting. But he did like a rundown of almost every single Sonic game that exists, at least the ones for the big consoles, the home consoles. So yeah, I mean, they're bringing back Where Sonic for like a mobile game. So I mean, like they're definitely looking through the backlog, but that's mobile, so But yeah, I mean, I'm excited though. I think I'm kind of excited to see what Sonic Team can bring us. Maybe it'll be cool. I mean, they got good hardware to work with, something that'll keep up with Sonic in terms of the speed and everything. So,
yeah, I don't think there was a Switch Sonic game at all.
Yeah, I mean,
think so.
I don't know, but yeah. And then of course we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2 coming out, and for the movies and stuff.
Now this is one important thing to mention, which is they're bringing back that old voice.
Yes,
Roger Craig Smith is back.
Yep. Yeah. So Ben Schwartz lost his job. I'm kidding. He still is going to do the movie, I think. But
I'm sure for the games and probably that TV show.
Now I want him in the movie voicing Sonic the Hedgehog like he voiced Chris Redfield.
Yes, I was going to say please.
That would be awesome, actually. I would be amazed by that.
He was my second favorite Chris.
So yeah, we got that going on. I also want to say real quick, this was not in my show notes, but I do want to add that we've after 15 years, we're going to get another Time Splitters. At least a re-release or remaster of some kind. I don't really know what they're planning yet, but apparently Free Radical is reforming and they're going to do another Time Splitters game. So that's quite amazing.
I feel like the StarCraft 2 trailer. It's about damn time.
It is. Good old Tychus.
But yeah, we definitely we think that's pretty awesome. That's cool.
It's a good franchise.
Yeah, man. I mean, more, these old franchises and stuff, they could breathe new life into them, especially now, especially with the amount of the cool hardware that we have out there for those of us who are able to get the cool hardware. But I mean, like, my PC can run it, dude. If my PC can run it, I'm happy. That's that's the main thing. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's okay that you don't have a PS5. Apparently, all the characters in Resident Evil Village don't have PS5s either, going by the Japanese trailer. That's not a joke, by the way. The puppet trailer, freaking like one of the characters goes, "I only have a PS4. I can't get a PS5."
I mean, it's true, man. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah,
that's why Korg's playing a PS4 in Endgame.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we've seen rumors this week of BioShock 4, Battlefield 6, Far Cry 6. Apparently, there's been a little bit of a plot leak for that game, so. I don't know. That brings up a question for you guys. Like, do plot leaks affect your level of excitement for a game?
It matters about the game because, like, Resident Evil 8, that plot got leaked apparently a year before because of a hack. So I freaking was like,
Capcom got hacked. Period. They got doxxed big time.
Yeah, they got doxxed and that got leaked. I actually want to double check that almost now because I almost wonder if things were changed in that leak or whatever. But that one I avoided. But Far Cry 6, I kind of am lukewarm. So if I see it, I'm like, whatever.
Far Cry 6 is just going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was one of the leaks mentioned something about like jetpacks and like crazy nonsense. And
I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
Far Cry is one of those games that like Ubisoft, when they want to, they put it out. And it's always just something that is stupid, and I'm always happy.
It's a Ubisoft game.
It's sort of becoming Just Cause in a way.
Yeah, pretty much. You're not wrong.
Pretty much.
But I don't necessarily mind that because Far Cry with jetpack sounds like fun to me.
It does. Did you remember when we were burning down crop fields listening to dubstep in Far Cry 3 or drug fields? It was great.
Fighting giant demons while you're high on drugs.
Yes. It was great.
I mean, I mean, what was that? Was it Blood Dragon?
Yeah, well, that's the best one.
Yeah, that's the best one. Yeah, just get Michael Biehn back in there.
Please. He's still around. He needs money.
All right, what else we got going on here? We have what did I bring up? We're gonna edit this part out of the audio version.
House of Sand.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so there has been another announcement here of the the Dark Pictures anthology. So basically, it's a new game in the Dark Pictures anthology. It'll be the third installment in that series, and it's called House of Ashes. Set in 2003 Iraq. Essentially, it's at the end of the war in Iraq, and it's a squad of elite U.S. military soldiers. They go down into the desert there in Iraq, and there's an earthquake that swallows them up, and essentially they fall into this huge labyrinthine catacombs like temple. It's an ancient temple, and it's a Sumerian temple. Mm-hmm. And essentially they find this like predator monster who can like infrared vision them and all this stuff, and just just follow them in the dark and everything. It's super cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It sounds like, what it is like everything about it just sounds like Predator to me, and I don't mind that at all. Like, like you look at the original Predator film and you look at like how they structured it as sort of like an 80s action movie. Everybody's, spewing one-liners, everybody's getting killed, and they're killing all the cartel guys.
That first half of the movie is horribly jarring when you get to the second half, where it's like, yeah, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger saying stick around and I ain't got time to bleed, and then everyone's getting their heads chopped off. Like, whoa,
I love it though. I love it because it's like that was the style of movies back then. So it was like,
absolutely.
They're playing around with that, with your expectations and whatnot. And so then when they come across like these guys who are total like supreme badasses, and then all of a sudden the Predator just starts taking them out one at a time, and it's just amazing.
They're not sexual tyrannosaurs no more.
Nope. No. Unfortunately.
But painless.
But I mean, like, yeah, but like House of Ashes. So what it is they're doing kind of the same thing, except it's more like a modern day kind of like war sort of story, or like a war game, like Spec Ops: The Line kind of did the same thing. And like, so you're almost like it's in kind of a Call of Duty-ish scenario, not the same gameplay, of course, but kind of the same scenario. And then they fall into the catacombs, and then it's like, well, now you're screwed.
Yeah. I also like the idea of Sumerian mythology, because I can only think of one horror franchise that's ever used Sumerian culture, and that's just Evil Dead. That is literally it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And even that's pretty sparse. So it's pretty good digging potential compared to the last game, which was just, witches and Salem, which, boy, I've seen that before.
Well, if you're going to do a horror anthology.
Yeah. I mean, it might as well be.
They didn't exactly start off on original ground. They did, oh boy, we're teenagers that are going to fuck and there's a monster. So, like, they haven't exactly been original up until this point.
The monster was unique, which was, okay, maybe not super unique if you've ever seen Supernatural, but
yeah,
the Wendigo is not the most overused monster, and they used some good inspiration. What was it? Algernon Blackwood's novel, The Wendigo, from 1907, is like the basis. That's fresh enough.
It's fresh enough, I get that, but it's not like they've done something no one's done. So they still use what's known. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I will say, of all the ideas, I'd say probably Man of Medan was the most original, because that's based on a really famous like ghost story legend that I don't think anyone's ever actually made a game out of, and I'm surprised because it's a great story. It's not real, because I actually working on the episode for my Debunk File channel about the ghost story it's based on. Spoilers, it's not real, but it's a great story, and I'm surprised I've never seen a movie use it or a game use it. So props to them. That game's okay, but great material.
By the way, do you know who's starring in this game?
No, I do not. I don't remember.
They always get one big guy.
Will Poulter's in the second one. The guy from Quantum Break was in Man of Medan, and then obviously everyone's in freaking Until Dawn.
Well, let me tell you who it is. It's Ashley Tisdale.
Really?
Really?
That's awesome.
Huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
Not a name I've heard in a while.
Quite a while.
Yeah. So she's starring in that game. So
one thing that makes me happy, and it's a problem they have had in every game they've made except for Until Dawn. It has some of the worst voice direction I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I'm like, Will Poulter in the second one, he does not sound like he's having any fun. He wants to literally die, compared to Remy Malek in Until Dawn, where it's like he's having fun.
All of them are directed greatly. That whole entire game is aces the whole way across. But when they got to the second two games, the lines they're given are not horrible, but they're delivered like wood. Everyone. It's not just one person screwing up. It's everybody's like that, and I don't get it.
That is really strange, actually.
Yeah, it's really
I'd
have to check if like the voice director is different, because you're right. There's a big difference between Peter Stormare devouring the entire set and just having a blast, and like I forget, is it Sean Ashford? I'm trying to remember the guy who's in.
Yeah, it's the non-Animorphs it's the non-Animorphs brother of those two.
Yeah, it's the guy from Quantum Break. I can never remember his name.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa, what's going on here? It's
and like the little bit that I saw
Sean
from House of Ashes.
Yeah, Sean Ashmore, that's it.
Looked good. Like actual like talking, like it sounded worlds better. It
sounded good to me. So, yeah, it sounded pretty decent. So I think
it's the same writer
we'll be okay
too.
Here.
So it's weird. Like same writing and directing. I don't.
I don't get it. I don't know. It's just so weird that it took that steep of a dive right after Until Dawn.
The best voice actor in the two anthologies is Pip Torrens as like the narrator. He's chewing scenery in a fun way.
Yep.
He gets it.
Absolutely.
Although you still know Peter Stormare.
No, well, not no one is Peter Stormare.
No.
Okay, so I do want to talk a little bit about the fact that the game has no release date still. They did say that it's coming soon. I don't know what that means necessarily. That could be over the summer. It could be sometime later in the winter or in the fall, maybe.
It's gonna be this year, I think. Because
around Halloween or something, I would think.
If it comes out soon, it'd be basically a year. Because I tell you right now, I bought it and played it the day I got my PS5. So the last one did not come out all that long ago.
No, Man of Medan was like 2019. Like I want to say like July or August 2019.
Yeah,
I think.
So it seems to be every year they kind of release a new.
Something like that.
A new installment of the anthology. So
which is impressive.
Also important to note, apparently they already gave away. No, everything that's happening is totally real this time, because that was a problem with Little Hope, where he did the same twist that Man of Medan did, where it's like it's not quite all real.
Yeah,
it's like no, there is a monster hunting you now.
You know what? Honestly, this reminds me of this current one, Descent.
Yes.
Oh, a little bit of Descent.
Agree.
Although there was parts of Descent already in Until Dawn, like a lot of stuff with the cave. With
I get that, but it's like
here.
The
but
little bit in the
clearly
game,
inspired by
they're not hunted as much.
Oh yeah. Well, all the writing in all these games are unabashedly copying stuff. Like this series just worships the altar of I know what you did last summer, Saw, that sort of stuff.
It's basically like they're doing like a greatest hits sort of compilation of all these different horror genre, tropes and stuff, and just having the players
gotten to the point of where there's not a whole lot of stuff that horror can touch anyway. That's new.
Yeah.
So,
but I think it's going to be fun, especially if you do like the whole 2-player co-op thing. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
That is pretty great. The co-op, how it's handled in both games, is pretty great. Where one guy can accidentally screw up and kill you because of the mistake he made instead of you.
And the curator edition thing is weird.
Yeah, what do you think of that? Because I was going to say that like the pre-order bonus for this is like so the base game, the retail game that you get is called the theatrical cut, which follows certain characters. And then you have a curator's cut, which follows other characters. Now, what does that mean necessarily for like co-op and stuff? Because are you going to be like when you're playing, is this for like the single player campaign that we're following different characters?
I don't know. Also situations where you're with the same characters, you just get different camera angles.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird. But I mean, don't know. I need to see more of it.
In the curator's cut, you're following like Nick or Jason. And in the theatrical cut, you're following Jason.
Oh,
but maybe doesn't that screw up like if you go 2-player? So like there's a curator's cut only for like single player.
Maybe it could be
the difference is there.
It could be. I need to get
a little
more.
What I will say is I cannot think of a game franchise that leans so hard into this is the movie since frickin' Fahrenheit.
Dude.
Except these are actually good.
I was gonna say that's the thing because these play kind of like Heavy Rain, but not like ass.
What do you mean? Don't you like my emotions?
No, the difference is David Cage actually thinks he's making a movie, and Supermassive understands that they're making a game that feels like a movie.
Yeah, that also helps. The writer of all these games is a guy named Larry Fessenden, who is a horror movie director who has made a lot of B-movie schlock in the early 2000s. So he has no illusion he's making grand art.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. Horror is fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, like, Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm actually a little bit hyped for this, and
I
especially
am
because
too.
it's got that military
yeah.
aspect. And like I said, I like that whole concept
Yeah.
of like, you're like the supreme badass who thinks that you're unkillable, and then you get into a situation where like, no, sir, you are very much fucked.
There's not a lot of games that do that. I wouldn't even say Alien vs. Predator did that particularly well.
Yeah,
the games, I mean.
Yeah, I figured. All right. So, did anybody else watch the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo thing that they had, which went right over my head for the most part, but because I'm not a...
I did a bit. It boiled down to, we could do the cool stuff now.
It can do much more than Unreal 4.
Yeah.
Good texture maps. No, but anyway, I'm kidding.
It looks really pretty. I'll give it that. A lot of that stuff looked like live action.
Looks better than Unreal 3 back in the day.
Good. Yeah. I don't think it's going to look that good.
Not all of it though, but they got to the point of where when they were scanning over those rocks and they just showed that fire, you could dump that in front of anybody. They'd say you were showing them photos of the Grand Canyon.
I mean, this is why you have this is why you have shows that are produced in front of digital sets that just you don't even need to shoot on location.
To be fair, that's not as impressive as you make it sound, because I'd say the RE engine and the Fox engine can also look pretty damn photorealistic at times.
Yes, but 9/10 of what looks really realistic in the RE engine is literally scanned into the RE engine.
Which is its prop, where you can scan things in very easily.
Yes.
I like to see
making it all from scratch.
I like to see Unreal 5 make a hamburger.
I think they could. I'm not going to put them up to the challenge because I don't know them personally, but I bet they could pull it off.
I think they might be able to.
That's how you know you made it. Where it's like you can make a food that looks good.
You can make rocks real good. So if you can make rocks look really good, maybe you can make a hamburger look really good.
Yeah.
And now I just want a hamburger. Damn it.
Me too.
Now we won't know until I see Chris punch a rock in the RE engine. I will not know.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, the question is yes, Unreal Engine 5. You're doing really great with all the rocks, but can Chris punch it?
Can Boulder Man destroy it?
Yes.
All right. So anyway, yeah, Unreal Engine 5. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see like a Mass Effect game in UE5 and just like
Do they announce what games they're going to use Unreal 5, or do they just?
I don't know. Yeah, I just want EA to get over their boner of the Frostbite engine and let them go back to using Unreal Engine.
Yeah, Frostbite's not impressive anymore.
It's
not meant for stuff like Mass Effect.
No.
I know this is a tech demo, but I do call bullshit on killing that huge rock dude so easily with like 2 shots, and that was it.
No.
That's what you got to get to make it look impressive.
It's a tech demo.
Exactly.
The only way that could have been more artificial is if you had 2 Ubisoft guys out going, "I got it, bro."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm nitpicking, I know, but that's just that was just, it was cute. Anyway, I was like, oh yeah, that'll happen. So I want to talk a little bit about fighting games because they're so important to me. So
yes.
Yeah, let's talk about Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, because that was that's like a sort of remaster / remake in a way, because it looks like a lot of the assets that they're using are basically new. And they swapped engines out, so it's no longer the old like whatever engine AM2 was using back in the day for VF5 is now it's now the Dragon engine from the Yakuza games.
Yes.
So awesome. Of course you got
awesome.
You got the studio behind the Yakuza games has the AM2 veterans from that era. A lot of them moved over to that studio, and so I won't say the name because I know I'm going to screw it up. So they're at that studio, and they apparently got approval to make this, a new Virtua Fighter 5 finally after all these years, man. It's been like, God, over like, when did VF5 come out? Like 2007?
I want to say 2009.
I think it was like 2007, maybe. I'm not really sure. But
Virtua Fighter 5 came out in July 12th, 2006.
Oh my God, even worse.
15 years. Holy crap. Okay, so yeah, so we haven't had a new one beyond just the remasters on like 360 and the ports and stuff. So we haven't had a new one for many years. Final Showdown, I think, was the last one. So yeah. Ultimate Showdown.
It was the literal Final Showdown for quite a while.
Cool thing about it is it's going to be available. It's a PlayStation exclusive, and it's going to be available on PS4 on PS Plus, actually.
Nice.
So if you guys have PS Plus, June 1st, you can download it at no additional cost, which is pretty awesome. Graphics look amazing. Backgrounds look awesome. So yeah, I haven't played Virtua Fighter in more than 15 years, I can tell you that. So I'm definitely going to give it a shot, check it out. It just looks really good.
That cell shading style from all the Yakuza games, it fits the game very well.
It does, very much so. Yeah. It's got that kind of light cell shaded look. Backgrounds just look awesome, man. I'm impressed. So yeah, Virtua Fighter 5. Hey, who knew? I mean, we're in kind of a fighting game renaissance right now. So we got like that coming out. We got Guilty Gear Strive is coming out in June. I don't know when KOF 15 is coming out, but I think it's
21 this year is what they said.
Yeah, sometime this year. They're still announcing characters for it. Like I just saw the trailers for Mai, and I saw the trailer for Blue Mary, and it just looks pretty awesome.
Of course, they did the trailer for the best character.
And who's the best character, sir? Other than Chris Clow.
It's Mai.
Chris Clow, the best KOF 15 character.
It's Mai, and I will fight you.
Yeah, but who is your favorite character?
It really is Mai.
I know, but who's your favorite character?
Sure, Nui.
Hi, Chris.
Also known as Bounce.
So my old buddy Chris Clow, the demolition himself, is here.
Yay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So good to have you on board, man. I've been trying to get you on board to this for some time now. So
I know. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
You're all good, dude.
No worries.
Remember the old Destiny days?
Oh good times. Hey, those good times. Absolutely good times. And it's have a little bit of a better experience playing it now, although I don't get to play it with the people that I used to play it with. So maybe it's actually worse. Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry about that, actually.
Hey.
Yeah. We can maybe get something going again.
Hey, who knows?
But anyway, Chris, so what we've been talking about right now, we've been just kind of going over the news and stuff like that. So we've been talking about like Virtua Fighter 5 is coming back.
Right, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And it's no additional cost on PlayStation Plus, so that'll be nice for those of us who have it. I think it's like a PS4 exclusive.
I believe.
Actually. But
I had a lot of good memories playing the original in the arcade when I was a kid. So
me too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
I don't know if any of those skills would transfer over, but we'll find out one way or another.
I'm so glad they're keeping the old sound effects too. Like that for me is like a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'll help. Nothing can take you back quite like a sound or a smell.
Yeah,
that's for
exactly.
Sure.
When you bring back a franchise, you need to have like the new sound effects and the old sound effects, like when they brought back Killer Instinct, where it's like you want new narrator, or you want old.
Yes. Or like the Halo multiplayer announcer.
Yeah, same reason why they got to keep the Halo announcer. Most definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience with the series beyond playing the original one, but it seems like Sony's stepping up their PS Plus offerings, which makes sense considering some of the competition that they're seeing from not really Xbox Live Gold, but certainly Game Pass.
Game Pass, Yep. Game Pass is
definitely. PlayStation Plus collection is a nice perk. I have most of the games already, so it's not really something that I can take full advantage of, but for the people who haven't played those games, that's awesome.
Any thoughts on, did you see like the gameplay showcase today or the reveal showcase of House of Ashes, the Dark Pictures anthology?
I didn't get a chance to see that. The only one that I was able to absorb was Horizon. So I don't know if you guys have talked
Horizon?
about
okay.
that.
Nope. We have not talked about that yet, so we're getting to it. Let me see here. Where are we on the list? My mouse can come back here. Okay, so first of all, before we get to the Horizon Forbidden West thing, let's talk about Dying Light 2, because that had a live stream on Twitch, which I could barely watch because it kept going in and out. But anyway, the tagline for this is "Stay Human." So apparently, Dying Light 2 does not want you to turn into an infected/zombie, which the developers are like, nope, they're not zombies; they're infected humans.
Yeah, I've heard this song.
Yeah, dude, they're zombies. Okay, but anyway. I think for me, this kind of sounds like they're going a little more story focused this time. Like I think of the first one. Tyler, you played the first one, right?
Yeah, I did. I played it back in like 2013, 2014 when they came out. I can't remember which year.
Yeah, I mean, that came out a while ago.
Very
it's
old.
About time we got a sequel. Do you remember if it was like a kind of a like? Did you have a character in that, or were you just playing like a random Night Runner?
You had a character with a name with a somewhat distinct personality, but I would not. I'd say it's on par with RE7's characterization of Ethan Winters, where it's like there kind of is something there, but not much. It was not a plot-driven game. It was mostly a game showing off pretty good first-person parkour stuff.
Like Mirror's Edge, but with zombie combat. So kind of
many comparisons were made to Mirror's Edge, and that
Mirror's
was
Edge, Left 4 Dead kind of a thing.
Yes, it was Mirror's Edge meets Dead Island, which makes sense because it was Techland.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Dead Island was theirs too.
It was a good game.
I think this one looks markedly better in my opinion because first of all, you have a character, you have a story, you have a plot, different factions that you can kind of either join or screw over.
Yeah, that's a lot more than the first game. The first plot was the Olympics are happening. Oh no, zombies survive, basically.
And they're all Olympians.
Yeah, so it was an excuse to have like, well, is there like a Nigerian guy next to a Japanese guy? Okay, so
all the dudes just chase after you, and you have to run the 150-meter dash.
Oh, why not?
So yeah, I mean, but the parkour in this looks really cool. But the thing that I loved about it is the combat. Like they showed off some combat stuff. You have like dismemberment in this game, which looks
that was
awesome.
Not the first game at all,
dude. You can chop off a zombie's leg, and the dude just crumples over, and you're like, all right, well there you go. Chase after me now, bitch. But anyway, it's like, yeah, I think that like, you know, the weapons look good. Graphically, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
This could be a front runner. This could be in my top 10 this year. I have to say, like, I'm really impressed.
Is Techland doing it again this year? I don't think so. Is it?
December 7th.
No, I mean by the developer. Is it Techland again, or
it is Techland? Yeah. It is Techland. Yes, you're right.
Okay, I was gonna say because they have not made anything I think since Dying Light 1.
Yeah, I think they've been working on this probably.
Yeah, because they were doing like Dead Island 2, and then that went into some weird directions, and then.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was going to be Jaeger, wasn't it?
It was going to be Jaeger, then it became Techland, then I think it just died.
Damn it, Jaeger doing a zombie game, that would have been cool.
Yeah, that's a great loss.
Yeah,
it was published by Deep Silver though.
Yep.
Wow.
Who published some pretty notable games.
By Jaeger and then Sumo Digital and Deep Silver Dam Buster Studios.
Those damn busters.
That's what it says here.
Okay, I haven't heard of them. So.
I think I know them from a certain game. Let me double check. Oh, that name sounds so familiar. Buster Games. Sorry, not the game Dam Busters. That's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dam Buster Studios.
Dam Buster, yeah.
Oh, they busted that dam. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this looks really ambitious. I hope that we're not in a Cyberpunk 2077 situation where it just comes out and crashes every single system available.
Oh, damn, but they're the ones that did Homefront the Revolution. That's not a good sign.
Wow, we went from Jaeger to Homefront.
And also, apparently, they're the ones now doing Dead Island 2, which is supposedly still happening because we're on our third studio.
Well, okay, far be it for me to disparage anybody who's trying to create a game because I know how much work that is.
I understand, but I'm like,
yeah,
Homefront Revolution was interesting.
Okay, well, hopefully they learned lessons and hopefully it'll turn out better this time. I mean,
although I think that might have been a Duke Nukem Forever situation where that game went through several studios and attempts, and they basically went, "Here, take it, get rid of it."
And I'm not dissing Cyberpunk at all, but I just think that like, you know, games need to be complete before they come out. Like,
I get that, but if we're gonna talk, a lot of people like to forget and think that Cyberpunk was the first time this happened. Do people remember how Dead Island was originally shown?
Yeah. Yes, that was.
And then what that turned into.
Yeah.
The reason why people say Dead Island, one of the greatest game trailers ever. You don't talk about the game.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a controversy between presentation and release? The one that immediately comes to my mind is Aliens Colonial Marines.
That's the
Absolutely.
Oh, geez.
Lawsuits.
That was actual gameplay, which was worse.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that game. I've rarely been so disappointed.
Don't open old wounds. I've just moved on from it for all these years.
Well, we could also talk about Assassin's Creed Unity, the PC port of Arkham Knight,
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs,
Watch Dogs. Yep.
Although it's a Ubisoft, so you almost sort of expect them to downgrade at this point.
There have been quite a few.
Devil's Third, although, well,
Devil's Third.
Devil's Third. Good Lord.
maybe people weren't expecting much from Devil's Third. I don't know.
Game
I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
That game, the best summary was, I think it was 0 punctuation, opened up with Devil's Third, more like Devil's Turd. Yep.
You can always count on them to go for the low-hanging fruit.
It's like Metal Gear Solid, but worse.
I don't even know what Devil's Third was.
But if you have a copy of it, hold on to it. Maybe you'll be able to put your kid through college one day.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, this is true. All right, guys. Let's talk about Horizon Forbidden West, because I think we saved the best for last here. I think we went into like ascending order, I think, here. So let's talk about it here, because State of Play. The interesting thing about the State of Play presentation was that, so they said it would start at like 12 noon Eastern, like 9 a.m. Pacific time. And you log on there and they do this thing where it's like, okay, we're going to show off environments for 5 hours before actually doing the State of Play.
And then every version of that environment.
Every single version of it. And with like very calming music, and actually it put me to sleep. I literally fell asleep and I took a nap and I had to rewatch the whole State of Play thing because it was just like ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what to think of that tactic, but luckily the video that they showed off, the gameplay that they showed off, was actually really, really cool. So visually stunning. To me, it looks even more fun than the first game, and the first game was really good.
Yes, it was.
Character models, dude, that game just like, it blows everything out of the way. This looks Hollywood quality. I'm just amazed. So like, yeah, Brock, you are Aloy's #1 fan. Let's have you and Chris start off, and then Tyler, you'll go next, and then I'll close it out.
I'm gonna try not to go off the deep end, because I might have made notes.
All of a sudden, there's like a flow chart on the board behind Brock.
Yeah, there was.
He's like, there's connections.
I don't know if I've gotten into detail with you guys, but like, I love video games that do. But my favorite video game for 16 to 17 years was Banjo-Tooie. Nothing came close to the pure amount of just sheer enjoyment that I get out of that game. Horizon stomped it into the ground and buried it in the backyard, like immediately. It was just everything I ever wanted in a video game was there. And the guy who helped develop the robots off of its favorite, and one of his favorite animes was Zoids. This is one of my favorite animes growing up. So just like everything was mashed into a ball and went, Brock, I hope you like this. It's literally Sony dropping the golden goose on my front yard. But
the only thing it's missing is lesbians.
Well, they're depending on who you talk to in the game. But yeah, it's the graphics just look insane. That Decima engine is nuts. They showed off a bunch of stuff. The Claw Striders look awesome. The fact that there's underwater and it looks good, like really good, is a good sign, because I was terrified. I'm like, oh no, my favorite game is introducing water and it's not going to be good. Please be good. Please be good. And it was good, because underwater can be really in everything. And just, you had like 6 new weapons in this game, like right off the bat within 20 minutes. It was nuts. And it just, I was so happy you got to see Aaron again. The movement stuff that you could do is awesome. It's simple improvements off just a game that knew what it wanted to be right away. That's all I got to get in. I don't want to steal the one that Chris said he got into and watched was it, so I don't want to say everything. It was just, I cried tears of joy. That's not an exaggeration. My roommate witnessed me crying at the end of this trailer when it was just her and Aaron looking at the focus of where they wanted to go, and it showed the storm and the credits came up. I'm starting to fucking cry right now. I was so happy. I can't even put into words just the amount of joy and just the absolute perfect amalgamation of what I want in a video game is what Horizon is. It's absolutely perfect. And I just wanted everything in improvements I've talked about for years with people. They showed in the first 20 minutes of what the gameplay is like. I'm just, Chris, go. I'm not going to shut up. So
no, that's perspective I appreciate, because I don't really know what I expected from the first game when I played it. It was kind of something that honestly I wasn't all that invested in prior to release just because I was so distracted with other things that I was playing and other things that I was doing. And it came out at a point in my life where I was just generally very busy, and I kind of took my eye off the ball. It wasn't anything that led to not feeling excitement for it. If I had bought into what the pre-release ramp up was for Zero Dawn, then I'm sure I would have bought into it immediately. But the thing that I remember being most struck by when I first started playing Horizon Zero Dawn was its vibrancy, because it seemed like that was a generation, and by that point I had a PS4 Pro, so we were in this kind of weird, strange mid-generation upgrade for the base hardware. And it was capable 4K upscale, the hardware was, but the games, understandably, that wasn't a benchmark that they could hit very practically.
Yep.
So you would go with intermediary kind of resolutions, and I think Horizon, it was something like between 1440 and 1800p, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't going for the max. They talked about how they wanted to try and get as much as what they could get out of a base PS4.
Sure,
and then it would just upscale. Yeah.
Right. And so, I was looking forward to it. Honestly, the thing that I was most looking forward to it for was probably the technical side, because a Sony first-party game, for all intents and purposes, you expect to take best advantage of the hardware. And as someone who played Uncharted 4 on a base PS4 when it first came out, and just being floored by the kinds of things that Naughty Dog was doing on that game, I was just really interested to see. And I was never someone that got into Killzone very much, so this was kind of my first step with Guerrilla. And the vibrancy of Horizon Zero Dawn was something that I'm still kind of mesmerized by. The lighting in particular is something that is kind of unmatched, like even by games that succeeded Horizon. God of War is probably kind of on that level too, but there was something about the breadth of the world in Horizon, because God of War, it's very tightly closed in on the player perspective, right behind Kratos and Atreus. And then with Horizon, it's just like set pieces. It's huge set pieces, while still managing to hit a performance target of around 30 FPS at a pretty high resolution checkerboarded 4K, I believe. So the vibrancy and the imagination that went into the world is immediately eye-catching. Like, I don't think that there's anybody that would ever assume to contest the amount of imagination that was at play in that game. Like quasi post-apocalyptic, but also strangely kind of tribal in the way that it presented its world.
Very much.
And it was just really, really engrossing. And you had a main character who you just empathized with from beginning to end. It did a really good job, especially by starting things off when she's a baby, when the story begins, and growing up with her, you automatically become invested in her. And that's something that I really appreciated. Yeah. So seeing the reveal today, I was taken aback really by the additional vibrancy that it had. It's almost like you don't know how something can be bigger unless someone shows you. That the immediate example that comes to my mind is that I had virtually no qualms or critiques about Arkham Asylum, and then when Arkham City came, I was just amazed. Like, I don't know how you could improve on that, but you did, and you did it really, really well. So at least from just the visual side of things, this game looks extraordinarily ambitious. And I really appreciate the fact that it's easy for me to say, since me and other people who have a PS5 were like, yes, let's leave the last generation behind. And that's not a very easy economic decision for some people to make, in addition to the scarcity of the hardware. Absolutely. But in terms of pushing the boundaries of what a game's visual presentation can do, just on that alone, I like that they're keeping it exclusive to the new hardware, just so that we can see what kinds of crazy things they're baking up with it. Yeah. So, the gameplay, it looks like it's going to be crunchy. Obviously, we don't have an abundance of reference material in terms of how it's going to feel when it's in the hand. But the first game felt pretty good at 30. And there are some, I hope that they take advantage of the stuff that's packed into the DualSense, because it seems like the variety of environments that you have would lend themselves really nicely to different kind of tactile feeling.
They talked a little bit about that, where it's like they said they're not going to say what's all there, but they have said, like, if you're going through dirt and like trudges and like trenches and like tall grass, you'll feel her like going through it and like trickling past the controller and stuff like that. So, and you have to imagine with the triggers that you're going to feel with the bow pulling back and releasing and all that. And
yeah.
So if Returnal's anything to go off of.
Like, I'm looking forward again, like most of my anticipation for it probably comes with the technical side of things, because in that first game, Guerrilla very clearly demonstrated that they have a command of design, and not only of game design, but of art design as well. But that being said, I mean, the story too, it seems like they're opening a lot more potential paths that they can take. And there's plenty more to tell with her as far as I'm concerned. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. And one thing that it's like, I don't know what anybody can test, but like, I'm a giant fan of, there's a lot of new stuff they added in that game, like the smoke bomb, the sticky bomb, the explodable spears, the new attacks by everything. But just like, if all they would have added was that grapple hook, like The Last of Us 1 to The Last of Us 2, that entire game plays completely differently because you can go prone. Simple stuff like that, I just love. That changes the way that you go around and move and stuff like that. There's a lot of little bitty changes to how you can do that I just saw in the trailer for movements, and it's simple stuff. When you know that you made a good example and you just start fine-tuning,
it just helps you feel like the world is something that you can live in for a little while. You know, if you open up even the example that you provided of The Last of Us is a really good example. I mean, the ability to interface more with the world in a way that you weren't able to do in the prior release. It does seem on its face to be a simple change, but it totally changes the tactical equation for how you approach given situation. So, and I mean, going prone in a field of grass also means that you have to design and program grass to operate in an entirely different way than you did before, right? Or before it was purely aesthetic, and now it's something that you're actually not only interacting with, but something you can hide behind. And the amount of work that goes into that is immense. So I'm glad that they've taken their time with Forbidden West. I don't think that anybody who thinks about it for more than 5 seconds would want them to rush it out the door. I mean, wasn't it Shigeru Miyamoto who said a bad game is bad forever? Something like that.
Yeah, it's
it was a good game is eventually a delay game is eventually good. A rush game is forever bad.
There you go. Thank you. And I think that's something that very much applies.
Yeah, the original game was delayed by almost a year, and it came out borderline perfect. That is one thing that I've gotten when I'm older with almost everything. Delay it. I do not care. I never will care. I could tell you right now, I would give my left leg to play Horizon tomorrow, but I still would much rather have it be 2 years from now and be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, if you describe it
won't
as
be that long.
Your perfect video game experience, then I would imagine you certainly want the potential to be there for the second one.
I do. It's just you, and again, we say that they're going to make sure it's perfect. I don't know if Sony realized they had something good, but I don't think that they realized they had a tentpole, like, major video game staple on their hands that exploded as good as it did.
No.
That was insane how well it did. And I'm very happy, that you have a good, like, kick-ass, take no shit, no love interest involved, awesome female character that just goes out, kicks ass. And it's voiced by Ashley Birch. I love her to death, and I'm so happy she has this.
She's a Sony staple at this point.
So good. But yeah, it's there. I can't think of, the only thing that comes close at this point, obviously, is God of War and then Far Cry 6. There's nothing that's even on remotely the same level as this.
I don't even think Far Cry 6 is even worth even bringing up in that comparison. Probably just God of War Ragnarok at this point.
For me, anyway. For everybody else, it's probably not Ragnarok is up there. And then, like, there's other stuff is escaping me. I know there's other things that are, like, just not been whatever. But, yeah, they keep saying they've insisted a couple of times that this game is going to come out this year. And that gameplay looks pretty polished, but I'm telling you, if it comes out this year, it's not going to come out any earlier than like November 20th through December. Oh, yeah. There's no chance, and I don't want
that'd be late. Yeah. Wait, it's gonna be very late in the year, possibly early next year,
which would be more than okay.
But I mean, even 2022 is starting to fill up as well. So 21 is kind of empty. The only thing
it really kind of is.
It might compete with Halo Infinite, but the install base is still going to be smaller on the Xbox side.
When is Infinite supposed to be coming out?
End of the year, around the holiday.
Okay. Yeah, that's a late again.
Yeah.
Man, I look forward to a time we're packed with video games all the time again.
We kind of had that with May, but the rest of the year kind of seems sparse.
Yeah.
Well, and even like in 22, you had Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League was already slotted for 22 when it was announced last summer.
Yeah.
And then they just pushed Gotham Knights into 22. So that's two pretty major DC games that are coming out in 22. They're probably still working on a Spider-Man sequel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if it'll be next. I mean, we just had Miles Morales. So,
yeah. And then isn't Insomniac also the ones doing Ratchet and Clank? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
So,
that is this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So once that's all done and polished, they'll fast forward on Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like with Dying Light 2 and the way that it is right now, the way that it looks right now, and it's coming out in December. So, I mean, and that's probably been baking in the oven for longer than Horizon Forbidden West has.
When did the original Dying Light come out?
It was announced back in 2018, Dying Light 2.
Was it announced that long back? Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be around the same amount of time as Horizon, because they said they started working on 2 like halfway or like 3/4 of the way through development. So it'd be around the same time, if not a little longer, depending on. They announced it then, so they probably work it. Yeah, you're right. It has been probably in the cooker for longer.
Yeah, so maybe
it seems to be a winning formula now. Starting production on a sequel right after you're almost done with the first one.
You know what you want to do. It's like they get the good ideas in and just get her going.
Maybe they should have taken that mentality from Metroid Prime 4. I don't know.
I agree with you completely.
That
is what's going to make
maybe that might have helped.
Been waiting for that damn game for 10 years. So
still coming, I guess, sort of, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. We'll see. Maybe. I love retro, man. I mean, I wasn't too crazy before I actually got my hands on it for the Donkey Kong games, but those games are world class. So, and I already love them for the Prime trilogy. So since restarting production with those guys is great, but it's haven't heard a peep in like a year and a half or 2 years now.
Did you think in any world that we would get a sequel to Pokemon Snap before we got Metroid Prime 4?
No, but
before we get another Elder Scrolls game too.
Considering
because it's almost been 10 years since Skyrim.
Yeah.
Considering the history of quasi disinvestment that Nintendo has had with Metroid, because it is only really popular in the West and not really popular in Japan, I shouldn't have been surprised, but nevertheless, here we are.
Yeah.
So
it's in that sort of Beyond Good and Evil 2 situation where it exists theoretically still, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then again, you know, I'm a Star Trek fan, so I'm used to the people who own the franchise not caring until.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
You're not kidding.
I can't wait for next week's episode of Enterprise. Oh,
yeah, and then 12 years passes until this one. So,
yep,
that was a long. But now the cup runneth over with Star Trek, right?
Sure.
There's actually material, since they're like, oh, this is something we own that can actually make a lot of money, so let's just make more of that. And it's fine with me. I have an agreement with Paramount. If they make Star Trek, I will give them money.
It's like the studio is like, hey guys, I think Star Trek's popular. To which, if you look at a window, there are people yelling, "Of course it is!"
not to go off on too much of a tangent, but after Star Wars came out in 77, there were Paramount executives sitting around a conference table, and they were trying to figure out what could they make that could do Star Wars-like numbers at the movies. And I guess some guy in the back, according to Walter Koenig, said, I think we own something called Star Trek. And that's what birthed the first Star Trek movie, ultimately, which wasn't...
That's how we got the motion picture.
Yeah, and I like the motion picture for what it is, but anyone can recognize the greatness of what would follow it. So...
Yes.
Anyway, I won't do
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
We need a new Star Trek game because the last major one was the 2013 one for Into Darkness, and we don't want to talk about that.
Funny you say that, though, because in, was it 2018, we got Star Trek Bridge Crew on PlayStation
VR game, yes.
That is true.
And that, to date, is still my favorite virtual reality game. I was shocked at how good that game was. It single-handedly convinced me that virtual reality could actually be a social experience, because the way that it works is you get in a lobby with 3 other players. One person's on the helm, one's at tactical, one's at engineering, and one's the captain. Mm-hmm. And if you get a crew that's just like drunk the whole time, that can be a little weird to play through. And I've had a couple of those, but if you have a crew
when you're drunk, it turns into Spaceballs.
Or Galaxy Quest, but
Galaxy Quest.
But that game, when it's on, it is really on. It is shockingly good. So if you haven't tried it and you have the ability to, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it.
Now. You are last hope.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I start talking about Star Trek.
You're good, man. You're good. We're gonna give you an opportunity to
just don't break your turtle in NASCAR, please. I like Trek too.
But yeah. So all right, guys. Let's move on now from Insert Coin. We now move to Press Start, which is our little perspectives, reviews, previews, impressions, basically what have you, of games that we have played recently. So I'm going to start off with something that's not on the list here, which is the Scarlet Nexus demo on Xbox. It is on the list. Thanks, Brock. So, Tyler, you and I think, did anybody else play besides Tyler and me?
I wasn't able to.
The demo on Xbox. Okay.
Nope.
So
I'll add it to the list, though.
Yeah.
Or maybe I won't, depending on what you say.
I think it's through tomorrow they're offering it on Xbox, and then it moves over to PlayStation. I'm not sure if they're going to have it on PC.
I will be touching it.
Well, I think you should try it because I think it's fairly awesome. I actually had a lot of fun with it. There's some wonkiness to it. It's not like completely perfected. Like it's got that camera thing that Japanese third-person action games kind of have, where it's a little bit janky. But for me personally, I thought it was really good. I thought that like the combat was solid. It was very stylish. I miss games like this where it's like third-person action, just like killer finishing moves and stuff like that. I know that DMC5 is like probably the last one that really did that well. But for me, it was a bit of a return to form here. And Astral Chain is another game that has been compared to, which I think is fairly accurate. Tyler, what did you think, man? Give me your opinions on this.
I thought it was good. That camera kind of bothered the living hell out of me at times, and the controls could be a little bit sloppy, but I think it's overall pretty entertaining for what it is, of course.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. For what it is for me, it's like it's a throwback, so I kind of think it might make my top 10, possibly, based on this demo. I don't know for sure, but I mean, this is actual gameplay that I've tried, so it's like it's pretty awesome.
This is what it's going to be like, I'm pretty sure.
They have some moments in there which I found a little bit like you say, it's the camera and it's like the auto targeting and stuff like that, and sometimes the lock on doesn't quite work the way you want it to.
Ooh.
I think it's a little weird in terms of like you got to press one of the bumpers and you have to like press in the analog stick to change the targeting and stuff. So that's a little weird for me. But like overall,
that feels old school, but in the not good old school way.
Yeah. But in terms of like using the powers, you have like squad mates, AI, like, teammates in the game, and you can like share power with them. They have like abilities that you can use.
It was vaguely Mass Effect-ish.
Vaguely Mass Effect-ish, yeah. It's a little more like, it's not like you don't have to bring up like a pause menu and stuff and do that. It's just all in game.
No,
so
it's not
it happens pretty organically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, yeah. I mean, you fight basically deadly flowers in the game, like toxic flowers.
Yeah, you do.
Pretty much what you find in the game. So you have also psychokinetic powers, so that's pretty cool. I like that whole aspect of it. If you hold down like the left trigger, it'll just like destroy something, and you can use like these little quick time events and stuff and just kill things instantly. Yeah, for me, it's like it's stylish. It's got that whole anime thing. It's very very much Japanese game design from like the 360 era. If you ask me, it's kind of a throwback in that sense.
Early
So
360s era, I'd say.
Yeah, for me, I kind of enjoyed it, and I'm gonna pick it up. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I will probably do. It was enjoyable enough, and I'm like, I'll give this a shot.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the $80 deluxe edition with all the additional crap, but I think I'm gonna pick up like probably buy it on PC or something. That'll be cool. So yeah, what do you guys think, Brock and Chris? Did you guys have any impressions on this, or any do you have any expectations for it?
I'm just happy that it looks like it doesn't play like Code Vein did.
It does not.
I was super excited.
It really doesn't.
Game plays like Aish.
Yeah. It really does not play like Code Vein at all.
And what I watched, it does. It looks like it has a mixture of Devil May Cry and Nier Automata, but with force powers, which looks fun. So I'm very okay with that because everything else about Code Vein was great. Just didn't play good. So that I'm excited about. So that's all I got. The demo's coming to PlayStation soon, so I will give it a shot.
Yep.
Yeah, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Bandai Namco. Like I was one of the people that played Tales of Berseria, and I wasn't particularly impressed with it. But then
I remember
at the same time,
yeah, it could have been better.
Yeah.
It was just kind of forgettable, But then they link up with Sora Limited, and then they make Smash alongside Masahiro Sakurai. So it just seems like it's kind of wobbly with them. I don't have any reason to doubt this game out of the gate because it seems like every project that Bandai Namco approaches, there's kind of a different philosophy that's wagging the dog, which is probably a good thing. All things considered, they have some variation with the game developer. It's not, maybe they don't want to feel tied down to a specific style. So I'll give it a shot. I mean, if the demo is coming, if it's leaving Xbox and it's going to PlayStation, then I can give it a shot there. Yeah. And we'll see what happens.
I think so. Download it. Give it a try. Because I think it convinced me, and I was very much on the fence about it. And I was very much like, I don't even know what this game is. So,
and it also just goes to the philosophy that governs demo releases because they don't happen all that often anymore. It used to be a commonplace practice, and the fact that they are willing to put something out that gives people the chance to put it in their hands and see how it feels. Kudos. That's something that it's not a common practice.
I think they probably had
it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think that they probably had an inkling that everybody was like looking at this game and going like, okay, we don't really know what this is.
Right. Yeah. Like side-eyeing it. Right.
Yeah. Like what are you talking? Like psi powers, evil vegetables, evil flowers. Like what's happening here? But in practice, it's fairly straightforward, but also like you can use powers in cool combinations and stuff like that. So it's like really interesting in that sense. And I think, and it's very flashy and it's very stylish. It reminded me a little bit of Beautiful Joe in a strange way.
A little bit. No, not as much as I would like, but a little bit.
Is the multiplayer way that they did with their last game with Code Vein, because you had to like have a code and it was timed the amount of time you could be together. So like you could do this boss fight, they were kicking your ass out of here.
I don't think they're doing that again.
Yeah.
No, this is single player only, and it's action RPG. So you do have systems involved where you can build your character and unlock new powers and stuff.
I just saw you had party members, so I didn't know if you could have people join in with each other. So I was
Yeah, it's all single player. They're all AI party members. So
nice, cool. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
you have two different characters too in the demo. You can play as the guy or the girl. So
cool.
Yeah, interesting.
The girl is better. I'll say it right now.
And you also get. You get a little item too for playing the demo. I think for like the main game, you'll get like a little special item or something, some cosmetic thing that you can carry around and be like, I played the demo. I'm so cool.
That's cool. I like stuff like that. Little cosmetic trinkets for trying stuff.
Yeah, it reminded me how if you did the RE7 demo, you got a rusty coin in the main game.
Ooh, a rusty coin, eh?
Well, and also apparently Bandai Namco was the studio that was fired from Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, it is?
It made me wonder what's going on there.
That's a little weird.
Ouchie.
I hope that a lot of these developers and stuff that are in Japan see like a renaissance here, kind of like Sega is right now, and
another
like,
studio we'll get to,
and Square Enix.
I wish Square Enix the best.
Yeah. What's happening over here, Chris?
I wasn't going to bring it up, but the game that I've kind of been playing the most lately that I'm not even really necessarily all that proud of.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh,
that statue's great, though!
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah,
that statue is
I love
amazing.
that statue.
I love it.
They got the nerds for me, that's for sure.
Nice statue. Rest of the game.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Look, I checked back into it.
I would like to if I had the time.
There are a couple of things that they've added to it relatively recently that has enticed me back to checking it out, but there are still a lot of problems with that game. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's
you can't patch Kamala Khan.
No. Although she's probably one of the more fun characters to play as once you get her leveled up to a certain point. I actually really like. I mean, Cap is my main because Cap is my favorite Marvel character, and I find the shield throwing to be pretty satisfying, all things considered. But you can wreck people with Thor. So playing with Thor, once you get to a certain point when he does the hammer spin, you can do it and just wipe out like tanks of enemies.
Yeah, pour one out for Black Widow fans because she's the worst to play.
I've heard people who really swear by her too, but I've not been able to get much of a grasp on her playing
she
style.
She is fun to play as, but she is thrown into a thing in the main story that does not complement her play style whatsoever.
That's
true. Yeah, that was a very, very frustrating. Like the campaign, all things considered, was pretty good, but the component when she comes into the story and when you're charged with taking on, was it like the stiletto robots? I think it was just one of the single most frustrating moments.
God, yes.
But I want it to be better. Apparently, they've done some consolidation with Crystal Dynamics recently to hopefully give it some greater attention. And it seems like they're dedicated to it, at least if they can stem the bleeding on their player counts, which seems low, at least on the PC side.
No, they can stem that. This point.
We'll see. They introduced MCU costumes for $14 a piece.
Yay!
It's like the new Call of Duty Cold War pack. You can play as John Rambo for $30.
Yeah,
dude,
that's not cool.
That's not
the whole lives and it's it is just such a different dynamic when you look at how effectively Insomniac has been using Spider-Man now across 2 games, using the license across 2 games, and having just the incredible locomotion that those games have. I think I was maybe one of 5 people that did, but I enjoyed Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch. It chugged a bit, but it was fun to play, especially with friends. And of course, you have to look at what other licensees are doing with other comic book characters. Like the Injustice games are still solid. I wasn't crazy about the story of the second one, but I still loved playing it. So, and then Rocksteady, of course, and Rocksteady's going to get their chance to stretch their legs again in a different part of the DC universe. And then you have Avengers, which a lot of people were looking forward to for a very long time. And they didn't lean on the strengths that they were able to use in the campaign and just tried to turn it into something that the style of game that it is does not conform very well to.
Yeah.
But when it works, but there are just so many little things. Like I had one of the Captain America costumes that I use, I replayed the campaign, and it wasn't properly skinned at his brow when his mask was on. So when he was talking, his mask was like juddering between flesh color and blue. And it's just like,
oh, geez.
Really? And something for me as a comic book fan, they have the comic book covers that you can collect.
Yeah.
And conceivably, as a developer of a Marvel-based video game, they have access to the archives and can get the archival quality scans if they want to. But a lot of the covers, you can see the Marvel.com watermark, and I'm just like,
oh God, you can? Oh no.
Yeah.
So Marvel has a really impressive archive, from what I understand. So the fact that they weren't able to look into that, just take it a little bit of a step further. It's like they cut corners in some of the most visibly disappointing ways. And that's just very disappointing, especially as someone who hasn't had a good Cap video game since 2011. I actually really like Captain America Super Soldier on the 360 and PS3. But
I remember that. Holy crap, that's been a while.
Game.
Man.
Yeah. Like it
Takes me back.
Definitely trying to ape the Arkham games, but it was just fun. Yeah, it had platforming segments, and the shield combat was cool. It had all of the Howling Commandos. They were called the Invaders, which was wrong, but all the movie cast members were there.
How could you?
Like the Howling Commandos and the Invaders are not the same thing.
Not the same thing, man.
But Chris Evans didn't phone it in, which is always helpful, because I still have memories of Tobey Maguire on the Spider-Man movie games. And that was just a fun game. And it's kind of hard to find now, which is weird. But it's a pretty solid – that's probably the best MCU video game. And so wanting a AAA Cap experience and having to wait for this is really looking forward to being able – and first of all, like, he's not in the story most of the time, so that was already disappointing to me. And then – all the other stuff.
Hope you like Iron Man.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, just not as much as Steve. Or at least throw Sam in there. That was one of my favorite parts of Falcon and Winter Soldier, is having like the actual appointed successor as Captain America. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. And I think Falcon's going to come into the game.
I don't think we've even covered that on a podcast yet. The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
No, it's been a while.
I can't believe it. How could you?
Like, damn it. No, but I mean, yeah, well, that's why we need to have you on more often, Chris, so that you can get us on track here. But
well,
anyway,
or off track, depending on I can't see your outline, so I don't know how far I've taken us away from.
Oh, you're all good, dude. We have we have just about 3 more to go. I'm just gonna do this next one really quickly because I just want to talk a little bit about Biomutant.
Oh boy.
You know what? Okay, I'm not far into the game at all. Like, I've only started on it because I had to play through RE8 and I had to play some Mass Effect just to get impressions going because I'm so freaking busy with this podcast. But anyway, regardless of that, dude, it's like. For Biomutant, I will say I'm not having an awful time with the game. I think it's pretty okay. Like, it does strike me as kind of like it's like Victor Lucas at Electric Playground, he was talking about it, and he said it's like a AA game, which I think is very true. I think the developers, for such a small team, I think maybe they bit off too much, more than they could chew on this release. Like, they're a little too ambitious, maybe trying to make it like a super open world with like all these different things that you can do, and apparently there's not much of it. I've been listening to reviews. I've been listening to negative reviews and positive impressions. And it's like, there are good things in the game, but there are also things where I think maybe later on in my playthrough, I'm going to run into some issues, which is like, the lack of enemies, just the fact that a lot of the quests are like fetch quests or like backtracking. A lot of it's backtracking. And you just have to do like all this, it's almost like busy work. It's like the worst kind of open world game design, Yeah. But but in terms of the actual gameplay, other than the sound, which I totally agree with a lot of people, where the music doesn't bother me so much, but just the sound is not good. The sound effects in particular, like your main character running around the world is not, it's not loud enough. It's not like, there's no real impact to it. With the fighting and the combat, it's just, the sound is no bueno. It's very not good. They definitely need to, I think, I don't know what I would do to it necessarily. I would just make it a little crunchier, and I would just make it like a little bit more intense, for lack of a better term. It just, it feels like when you're hitting something, it's almost like you're hitting a knife and a fork together. Like that's the sound that it makes for your swords. Like it's not impactful. So yeah, it's in some areas it's painfully undercooked.
Yeah.
And in other areas for me, it's like okay. So impressions wise, I would say wait for it, and I wish that it was like a $50 game instead of a $60 game, or like even a $40 game, and like just taper it back and pull back on all the open world game design stuff, and maybe just make it a little bit simpler. Because when you're dealing with a developer that's 25 people, it's not, maybe don't aim for Breath of the Wild as your goal point. Maybe start a little bit smaller.
Yeah, you can't fault someone for being over ambitious, but it can be a downfall sometimes.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about it. I just feel like there's good systems there, and it's interesting, and there's like the whole idea of like these little like anthropomorphized mascot characters basically doing kung fu on each other and stuff is pretty interesting. It's like it's not the worst idea that I've ever seen, but it is something that feels maybe a little bit like it's stretched thin. So that's kind of my impressions of Biomutant.
Is it does it have native new gen versions, or is it just like back compat on the newer system?
Back compat, yeah. And as a matter of fact, there's been like some controversy on that, because apparently like it doesn't even scale to 4K on PS5. I think they downgraded it to like 1080p, and that's as high as it'll go on PS5. Like on Xbox Series X, it'll go up to 4K. But like, yeah, it just feels a little undercooked. It does. I don't hate it at all. I do not hate it, but I would say that if anybody wants to really try it, I would say maybe wait until it's at a better price, or just wait for it to go on sale, or just skip it altogether if it's not your type of game.
Yeah, but reviewer wise, it's like all over the place. Some people like 80%, 40%, 20%, 100%, 0%. It's all over the place.
It's definitely not a 40% game, in my opinion. I don't think it's a 40%.
I think the most I'm seeing is like 60 through 70s, the average.
That seems about right. I'd say it's about maybe a 60, 65.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not the worst game I've ever played, but it also has definite room for improvement. And one of the things is that sound design and the voice acting, because you only get the narrator basically, and you get the two little annoying sprite characters that pop up. Like one is the light side, one is the dark side. You have this whole like morality system in there where you can do dark actions and light actions, and you can like light is the hopeful side. Like you want to save the world, you want to save the tree of life and all this stuff. And dark is like, no, destroy the tree of life, cleanse the world. Let's just start over. And then there's a lot of like, there's some messaging in this game, like some like environmental messaging in this game, which I can appreciate, but at the same time, it's like it's very overt. And I can
in terms of the light and dark paths that you take,
yeah.
Is it like a slow build that leads to a different endpoint, or is there like a key decision that branches you into one?
I haven't gotten so far yet as to get to like a key decision, but I will say that it's pretty blatantly like there are 4 tribes, or there's like 8 tribes or whatever, and there's like, one tribe believes in helping the world and being hopeful and optimistic and trying to save trying to save everybody. And on the other side, you have a tribe that you could choose to help out, and they are like, they want to just like take over and just like, cleanse the world, destroy the life tree, and all this stuff. It's pretty overtly like you're either going to go light or dark. But you can also you can do the Mass Effect thing where you can make decisions where it's like, okay, I'll choose to help this person, or I'll choose to save someone who's been kidnapped, and then I can just punch them out for no reason.
It sounds like very Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, where it's extremely binary, where it's like, I will hug the kid or I shall burn the kid.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking of a different Star Wars example. I was thinking of Jedi Knight, because the original Jedi Knight, because when you play that, you have different force points that go into either the light or the dark, but then you get to a specific point in the story, and that's when you either go one way or go another way. Yeah. And then the other way of doing those kinds of branching paths, the more masterful way, in my opinion, was Red Dead 2, where it's much more of like a a slow kind of a burn, and it takes stock of each decision that you make before ultimately assigning you the
personal too, where it doesn't really change the outcome. It's more just your personality as a whole, which is a better way of doing it.
I'm much
and how
more
you die.
That. Yeah.
You know, you either die peacefully looking at a sunset, or you get a bullet in your head, right? Live by the sword and die by the sword, kind of thing.
Or you get stabbed to death if you're one of those people.
Right.
I think what you're saying is spot on. I agree with you. I think that's the better way to do it. I think this game is much more blatant because as soon as you start up the game, they basically put you at the crossroads and they say you're either going to go down this path or you're going to go down this path. And the light sprite spirit thing will pop up and will be like, oh, everything's happy and we're light and hey, let's go and save all the people. And then the dark sprite guy will come over there and he'll just be like, no, dude, it's like metal and like motorcycles and like let's go to the bar and let's like drink a whole bunch of whiskey.
Yeah, that is Knights of the Old Republic again, where it's just like you can be the ultimate good guy and everyone likes you, or you can be the ultimate bad guy and just murder everyone. There's not really much of an incentive to do either or.
Well, the bad guy is far less irritating, so I of course chose the bad guy path.
The problem is not having bad audio and voice acting in the month of May. Boy, that's a real bad choice with the other two games that came out this year, and May having some pretty good voice acting and music and choices.
And I have no doubt that that's probably the narrator dude, and he's just doing like a high-pitched voice for the light spirit and just doing like a low-pitched voice for the dark. It's probably the same voice guy, and he's just like, my God, do I have to do all these?
It disappoints me to this day that we've never, and at least that I've seen it in video games, where it's like you have the light and the dark side, that you never have a moment where it's the Emperor's New Groove Kronk thing where the good guy's like, no, he's got a point. Like, you never get that ever. I want it to happen so bad where there's a moment where both sides are like, no, yeah, I actually think it's a good point. You should burn the kid this time. Like, you earned it. Like, I want that to happen in one of these games.
It's like, you saved a whole orphanage. I'm going to let you have this one kid.
Yeah.
It's kind of like BioShock, where you have to sacrifice, you know, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the names. The little sisters, yeah. You have to either sacrifice them or not.
That was never a narrative choice. That was something that was forced on them by 2K. So it feels a bit unorganic or compared to everything else.
That's fair. But yeah, okay. So, guys, do you want to say anything else about Biomutant before we go on?
It's not the best game with the word bio or mutant.
I
good
never
point.
Got to touch it. I was far too busy with Mass Effect.
I was a little bit too busy with something else too.
Yeah, we can tell. All right, so let's move on. Speaking of which, what do you guys want to talk about first? Do we want to
do Mass Effect first?
Mass Effect, okay. Let's do Mass Effect first then. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. What do you guys think?
This is amazing.
It is the same thing with a new pint, and a couple of new pieces strapped onto the car that made it perform a lot better.
Yeah, it's like they rolled in your favorite car into the shop, put a new engine on it, new coat of paint, runs better than it ever did, but it still has everything you always loved.
I can't get over how much better Mass Effect 1 is.
And also they fixed that stupid hole in the car door.
It is a lot better, I will say that.
Yeah.
So you know what my problem was with Mass Effect 1? You know what the problem was I was having with the Mako?
Yeah.
So never do they tell you that there's a boost button.
True.
I had to figure that out on my own.
That's new.
I forgot
that was not in the original.
That was not in the original at all.
Yep.
I had to figure that out because it's on the bumpers, which I do not look at the bumpers for anything. Like I would look for the scope first before I looked for the boost. So that was my problem I was having with it, and that's the reason why I was bitching about it to you guys and just being like, man, this is not as good as I was expecting it to be. And then boost button, it's like hallelujah.
And that scope button. The scope button was there before, but it was
scope button. You don't need a scope button when you got the cannon shot thing.
I get that, but you can borderline snipe people from across the map with that scope now with how good it is.
Yeah.
The thing was borderline useless in Mass Effect 1. It was kind of like the scope function in like Ride to Hell Retribution, where it's like, this is too zoomed in, this is too zoomed out. I can't do anything with this.
Yes, because I played Ride to Hell Retribution.
I was just about to say I can't get reference points for that.
I did because I hate myself.
Clothes pants sex simulator.
There's Jake. Bye, Jake.
Chris, have you had a chance to play Mass Effect Legendary yet? Or
I have not, but I am anticipating the chance to get to. It's funny, a friend of mine for some reason just started picking up the multiplayer to Mass Effect 3 on the original edition, obviously.
I love
Bad
it.
timing
I love
because
it.
it's not in this one.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that I was a little bit disappointed to learn
There are
back
rumors.
when they announced it. Oh, that they might patch it in.
They said
There
they
are
could add it if
rumors.
they wanted to. If it
I
gets
hope.
enough pull, they said they could easily put it in.
Please.
I hope.
Please.
And that's not from some Joe Schmo. That was from Mac Walters, one of the top 3 guys at BioWare.
Yeah.
I knew they were holding on to that.
Yeah.
I knew it.
That would be cool. I mean, then I think that would give more credence to the title.
The most fun that I've ever had with that game was the multiplayer, man. That was so fun.
You know, I never got to 2 or 3. I only ever played the first one. So
wow.
I'm pretty woefully behind on absorbing Mass Effect, but
you didn't even get to reach my second favorite character of the month, Mr. Miranda Lawson. Oh.
No. I'm sorry. But I mean, at the same time, though, the fact that I have put it off also gives me something else to look forward to, because
that is true.
In my estimation, there are a few things that can hit the highs of an awesome sci-fi world that you can just get lost in. So I'm looking forward to getting it and playing through the first one again, and then taking my time with the other two. But I have a few more obligations now than I did when those games first came out.
Yeah.
So that limits my time. But I am a weirdo who has both a Series X and S. I find that having a Series S on our secondary TV is really helpful in terms of finding a spot that I can just kind of play a game on. Awesome. Having the performance advantages of the higher memory bandwidth and the SSD on a smaller scale system and on a TV that's not as good as the one that I have out in my living room that the Series X is parked under, I've been very happy with it. So I can see a scenario where I pick up the Legendary Edition, and one of the best features of the Xbox ecosystem is being able to just pick up your save game immediately, since it uploads everything to the cloud automatically. So I can go from one evening playing Mass Effect 2 in my living room, and then if my wife wants to watch something, or if my daughter is really engrossed in Blue's Clues that day, then I can just pick it up and start it up in the bedroom and keep on going. So
yeah, you'll like
I'm
Mass
looking
Effect
forward
1 the most, because that one definitely got the most tweaks.
That one I heard a friend of mine who is a huge Mass Effect fan compare the amount of TLC that the first game got to, and granted, this might not be a positive comparison, but I think you understand the point. By far, the film that was tweaked the most in the Star Wars special editions was the first one, comparative to the other two.
That sounds about right, because episode 5 got the least amount of change. Episode 6 had a few changes, but they're pretty important. And that's kind of the same thing here. Mass Effect 2, I've almost done with it. I don't notice anything specifically different. Mass Effect 3, there's one major change that I'm aware of already, and it's a good one, but everything else beyond that, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And I remember when the third one came out, how people were very disappointed in the original ending, and that I guess there was some DLC that released that tried to shore up
that's all still there.
So the fact that now, never having gotten into the second and third games, I can hopefully play it in a way that is more satisfying.
I think so.
So no, I'm looking forward to jumping into it. It's definitely on my list. And honestly, the only reason that I didn't buy it day one was because I was a little disappointed to hear that it didn't include the multiplayer component. So I'll get to it eventually.
It might Master Chief Collection this, just patch it in.
Sure, yeah. And
I hope so.
Oh man,
I really hope so.
That is quite a remastering story. I was there for the launch of the MCC and was there right at the beginning of all of the disappointment. And
yes, I was gonna say it was a great game to play until you got the multiplayer, and then you're like loading. But
now it has become the ultimate Halo experience. Like and now they've even gone back and fixed components of the graphical presentation from the first game on the original graphics, so that it's more in line with the original Xbox release, as opposed to the Gearbox.
Yeah, it's not the Gearbox PC version that I hated.
So
true.
The MCC is a huge success story. It certainly shouldn't have released in the state that it did release in, but especially since it got its Xbox One X enhancements, and now since it's a native XS game, it is pretty awesome. And playing my favorite Halo game is still probably Reach. So when they added Reach to the MCC, playing that in 60 FPS, pretty glorious. So I have the context far more for Halo than I do for Mass Effect, but I am really looking forward to diving into Mass Effect.
Reach if you want to have fun, turn on the Spanish subversion for Reach, because the narrator is George for the multiplayer.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Yeah. George is, oh man, I love George.
He's great.
I think about George from time to time and just get sad, but
George and Kat, man. George and Kat were, like, for me, those were the two just impactful. Yeah, man, Reach is so good. Brock, what are your thoughts on Mass Effect Legendary Edition? Do you want to add anything?
Like I said, yeah, 1 is just off the charts with things that changes. Like, just alone, the fact that they took the just beyond smashed operating the sniper rifle with your busted kneecaps version of the drift with the sniper rifle.
Oh my god!
Now it's just a dot with no drift.
If you picked anything but soldier, you didn't even get a reticule. It was beyond useless.
Yeah,
exactly. And now it's just I snipe everything.
Thank God.
It is the funnest sniping in any game I've ever played my entire life. Everything. You just wait on the recoil, and after you do it, there's no overheat. There's nothing. 5 feet away, I'm sniping people and pulling off shots in that game. It's the funnest I've ever played version of that game. It's ridiculous.
Also, the gameplay HUD, also so much better, because now you know when your shield's down and you don't have to listen to Shepard go, lost my shields.
Yeah, there's not a lot of weird random pips and dots, and like just the textures and everything. One thing that you won't notice this, Chris, was there's a difference in like 2 and 3. If you had all the DLCs, you got all the DLC weapons at like the start of it all. But like a lot of stuff that was DLC in 3, like cosmetics, you can wear them in 2. That's one thing that's a big change.
That's cool.
Like, textures are a big change. And like any DLC weapons that you got that you would have had that make you kind of overpowered, they put them naturally in like stores and stuff. So it's like natural stuff in the game versus DLC that would just get dropped on you. So it's a natural whole scale experience. I like that quite a bit.
That kind of reminds me of some of the tweaks that they made to Wind Waker HD, where they kind of added some stuff to the storefronts in that game and just kind of made it a more seamless part of the experience. I always like when they take that kind of extra step. It makes things a little gamier, but at the same time too, it's nice not to have to leave the world in order to get that stuff, right?
Yeah.
You can stay in it. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
I like
true.
Absolutely. And the number one, I don't know if it was what Tyler's alluding to, but outside of Aloy, I might be one of the biggest Tali Zora fanboys that exists on the planet. Tali is the ultra cute, just sweetheart Quarian that you get to meet on her pilgrimage in the first one, and then you get to romance in the later two. In the third game, you get to see a picture on your nightstand of her if you romance her. And it is in the original, it was just a god-awful, lazy Getty Images, modified, horse crap, stupid Photoshop of a random woman they found on Google. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's god-awful. They didn't even modify a picture of the voice actors. It's just some random person. And then in the third one, they changed it to a good in-game engine version of her with her mask off. I'm just like, how hard was that?
Yeah, it took 10 years on a remaster.
And then the best part was, like, the remaster gets out. People get it days early because they switched their region codes. What's the first thing they do? They fix the picture. Like 17 websites are all talking about how they changed that freaking picture. I'm like, I'm glad I wasn't the only one because that pissed me off so much.
Yeah,
I don't think they changed anything else Mass Effect 3, but I'm going to be honest, that's the one thing they needed to.
It's going to be all texture stuff, honestly.
Yeah,
and
it
like
just looks better.
Rearranging items. But like one thing that you will never get to experience, Chris, because you didn't try. I didn't know, like, it always rumors that they were going to be remastering it. I got the itch about 1.5 years ago where I had to play through Mass Effect again and I have it on PS3. Because of EA and stupid Origin, you physically can't play Mass Effect 3. You can't. Because you play 1 through 1 and 2, and then you get to 3, and then it sits at a screen that says searching for DLC. Searching for DLC, because it won't let you log into Origin off the system, and you can't get the DLCs downloaded on unless you get into Origin. So to play Mass Effect 3, I had to uninstall it and not let the system upload the patches that fixed some of the stupid crap in the game. So there's points where it broke where your characters are supposed to be looking. So I'm playing Mass Effect where, like, say here is a display that Shepard's looking at. You're talking to Admiral Hackett, and he goes, Shepard, what's the display report? Well, your construction workers are here, and this is great. Like, it was the worst experience of playing Mass Effect 3 I ever had in my life. And I was just like, this is stupid. I have to play it without all these patches installed.
I've never seen that bug before. I kind of sort of want to. It sounds like bad stage direction in the video game.
And like, that's the only visible bugs. Like, there's a couple where you like break out of the world, but you have to really try for them. They just had broken positioning throughout the entire game with Shepard, and it's hysterical.
And that's through their own storefront.
That's like, you couldn't, there was something when they implemented Origin in something, you had to access it through the thing. You would just sit on the start screen and it would say searching for DLC, and you could never get past it.
Wow.
It was terrible. You had to unload every single patch.
For you.
That's good old EA. But then all of a sudden, like months later, they're like, we're doing the remastered edition. I'm like, oh, I could have just waited. But yeah, you don't get to experience all that fun stuff.
No, you don't get the experience of, oh boy, I can't wait to see what my favorite character looks like. That's a stock photo.
Yeah.
Oh shucks. I'm heartbroken to hear that.
I know.
Although you will unfortunately miss Miranda's ass.
The best part is you get it all the way in a scene, and like what he's talking about is there's a scene where Miranda is talking about her going to be abducted sister that she's worried to death about, and then 80% of the screen is just focused up on Miranda's ass.
To be fair, that camera angle always made no sense emotionally to what the scene's talking about.
And it's like and the best part is the dialogue selector, you're like, so I have time to go look for her or forget this, is literally on her ass cheek. You're deciding to go look for her going to be abducted sister while the selector is on her ass cheek. I'm like, what is this? I understand Yvonne Strahovski is very attractive, and oh boy, did you make your model in that game attractive. And the best part is, like, all they did was just crop it right at her waistline and move the camera up. That's all they did. The scene layout's exactly the same.
A camera angle would make sense if it's a romance scene or that happens default no matter what. It was a little bit weird.
It was really weird. And that was a big uproar where everyone was like, they're taking out shots, they're desexualizing. I'm like, no, that scene never made sense that you're staring at her ass while she's trying to get your help to save her sister.
There's a similar camera angle in Mass Effect 3 when you're talking to her. I'm pretty sure that one's still in there because that one...
When you're talking to her in like the CDC, like Spectre office thing, yeah.
And that one,
if a byproduct of desexualization is story coherency, then
it is bizarre though. It's
okay.
I gotta save my sister from like this child sex slave, or insert zoom in. It's like never made any goddamn sense.
But at the same time, too, standards have changed as well. So if they wanted to desexualize certain scenes just so that they weren't so overtly aimed at teenage boys, that's also good too. Like, who gives a damn? A very small amount of people give a damn.
The character's still attractive. Actually, she's even better looking than ever, personally speaking.
Hey, I mean, look, if there comes a point, and like we get bombarded with so much sexual imagery anyway, that if they decided to realize, hey, maybe we'll keep in mind that women play this too. Some of them are straight too. Maybe they don't really care too much about this. Then
it is funny. This came out the same week as something else, which does not have as overt sexualization as people have wanted. We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, guys. So that's Mass Effect Legendary Edition. What do you guys say? Buy it, skip it.
Absolutely.
Get it. There's no excuse. No excuse at this point.
They didn't add any major bugs or problems. I can't think of anything that it's like, this is so much worse off.
I mean, it was actually, I mean, people were worried about that because people were worried that EA would just EA it up. But apparently they did not. And this is good work from BioWare. Probably the best thing that they've released since.
Probably the last aspect.
I don't know.
It's the prettiest the Unreal Engine will ever look in. Unreal 3 engine will ever look in its life.
Yeah, it still looks really good. It holds up amazingly. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just impressed walking around the Citadel and seeing all the water and all the sprinklers and stuff, and how crazy all those particle effects are. Man, it's just insane. So yeah, really good game. I'm still in the throes of Mass Effect 1 because I barely have time to make dinner. So yeah. Yeah, I barely have time to sleep anymore.
I literally stopped right before the suicide mission before this podcast
I'm almost at the suicide mission too, and it's.
You guys have the chart? Do you have the handy dandy flow chart that they released?
Oh, I got that baby memorized. I know who I got to take where.
Oh yeah,
ending of 2, Chris.
Don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. I lost more.
Don't say handy dandy. My daughter watches Blue's Clues.
It's a time it never fails when it comes. I want a whale. No!
Yeah, I'm gonna cherish that Suicide Squad, Suicide Scene, because it's one of the best in gaming. That damn score. Holy shit.
Good. Oh yeah, so good.
All right.
Although I will say that the Blue's Clues reboot, like they got a guy to host it who has Broadway experience, and damn, does he bring it? He brings it.
Well, that's good. So. That's good. There was a time where there was a rumor that John Cena was going to take that show over, and I don't know what was going to happen.
I think this guy beat John Cena in the audition, which should tell you something. So
nice.
But I guess a lot of moms are thirsty for him too. Like he talks about having to bat people away on Twitter.
But
I know who that is. Joshua Dela Cruz. I know who that is. Yeah, he's a good singer.
Well, I don't watch Blue's Clues, so I'm sorry about that, Chris. I made you flashback there.
Oh, that's okay. I think it's normal for I think it's normal for men not to watch that show. So
if you disrespect Steve, I'm gonna fuck you up, man.
Hey, when I babysat, I watched. No, but my daughter watches Steve and the new guy because all of the old episodes are on Paramount Plus. So
nice.
And
we have
Paramount Plus, so she watches Blue's Clues, and I tried to show her Peppa Pig, and she really didn't give it to Peppa Pig. So Blue's Clues, though, that is her jam.
Great, very nice.
She's got taste already.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we move on to the big one, and I mean that literally. Resident Evil Village. What do you guys think? Impressions? Now we finally have the game. We had, it's been a while since we did our last episode, and we were just talking about like visual impressions of the game. So let's talk about gameplay impressions. What do you guys thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Oh my god,
plays really good.
Mm-hmm.
Plays really, really good.
Yep.
Feels solid. Goes solid. It's got really good. Again, I'm probably the only one out of us. I don't know if Chris has played it, but like the adaptive triggers on the PS5 are really good with it. Like it's chunky when you try to fire the shotgun, and it feels really good.
I hear like the sniper rifle takes extra like pressure to go off.
It does. You have to it feels like you're pressing it 1.5 times to actually fire the sniper rifle.
That sounds
really
awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
That's
it
how you
scared
want
me at first because I thought I broke the controller, and then I tried to just press it harder, and then it fired. And then I switched the guns to just the regular pistol. Like, oh, that's the triggers. I'm so not used to this.
That's definitely going to take some getting used to, I think, for me.
Yeah, but
that's how you want people to implement the use of the new controller technology.
I want Microsoft to do that because that sounds amazing.
It'll come at some point.
The Xbox controller, though, the Xbox One shipped with rumble in the triggers, like a little bit of rumble in the triggers.
Oh, yeah, that was very feasible. You feel that a lot with the shotgun in this one, right? If your fingers will rumble quite a bit.
Sure, yeah. And I think they were called impulse triggers at the time.
Yes, correct.
Which is a far more primitive version of, obviously, of what Sony is doing. Or even Nintendo, like HD rumble and some of the stuff in the DualSense seems like it's related, which is good. Like the very precise kind of rumble that they're implementing is always solid. But I haven't played Resident Evil yet, but on some of the games that I've played with the adaptive triggers and with some of the other bells and whistles that are in the DualSense, I can see how it could be an impediment in multiplayer situations, but in single player story games, that's awesome. I'm more of that.
Is there an option to turn that off?
Yes.
Probably.
I've never looked.
I think you can turn it off at the system level. Maybe there's a setting in a game, but they at least give you a choice at the system.
Because like if you are playing Call of Duty or something that requires a lot of Twitch, like Twitch skills, then I could see how that would work.
Before we forget, one last thing on Mass Effect. That is the most touchiest trigger-based game I've ever played in my entire life, at least on the PS5. There are moments where I just have to completely keep my right finger off or I will just fire the gun at any random moment because I just haven't.
Same thing on Xbox, where it's like that sniper rifle has a freaking hair trigger, man, where the slightest pressure will go.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's super sensitive. Sorry, I had to get it in there. I forgot all about that.
That's true, though. But I wanted to ask you guys a little bit about the I'm sorry, what's the name of the controller now? It's DualSense.
DualSense.
Yep. So like when you use that controller, like how does it feel in your hand? Because like one of my complaints about the DualShock controllers were that they felt kind of flimsy, especially when compared to the Xbox controllers. Like I feel like I like the weight of the Xbox controller more. So like does the DualSense kind of feel a little bit chunkier?
Yes.
Yeah.
And as someone who is generally an Xbox player first, one of the things that I tend to prefer in general is the Xbox controller. But that being said, the DualSense is a pretty noticeable improvement over the DualShock 4, at least. And certainly the other DualShock models, which I was always critical of. But the grips feel far more substantial. Mm-hmm. It feels like there is some additional weight that comes with, I don't want to say more premium material because I don't think it's that, but it just seems like there's more heft due to both more internal components on the controller and a thicker casing. Mm-hmm. And it also has kind of the ribbed or textured grips as well.
Oh, that's good.
My hands are a little bit bigger, so that's probably why I've tended to prefer the Xbox controller. But
are they big enough for a Duke controller?
No one is.
Yeah.
You could replace a small bear with that controller, and no one can know the difference.
I liked the Duke back in the day.
I might get a new Duke. I'm not sure. The new Duke that works with the current Xboxes. But no, I mean, just in general, the DualSense to me anyway seems like a pretty massive. The DualShock 4 was fine. Like it was a solid controller. Yeah. But I get what you mean in terms of feeling a little flimsier, especially in comparison with the Xbox controller. It just
feels so light to me, and that's the thing. Like when I got the DualShock 4, it felt like it felt like if I threw it against the wall, it could break. Whereas with the Xbox One controllers, it just felt like, you could throw that baby against somebody's head and they would die.
There's a lot more
parity. Not that I would recommend that.
I was going to say,
right, yeah, of course not. No, I would say that there's a lot more parity now between the two of them in terms of build quality than there was in the last generation.
If you want to know what it feels like, get a Switch Pro controller.
Okay.
Yeah, they are pretty
similar. Very close. But
that's good. That's an improvement.
I have always liked DualShock controllers. I will never defend the DualShock 3. That is an abomination to mankind. That is one of the worst controllers I've ever held in my entire life. That thing is garbage. But I really like the 4. I never minded Xbox controllers. I've just always been a guy that liked both the joysticks in the middle.
That is true.
I will always say I will always prefer that as long as I live.
Yeah.
I really like the DualSense. And I've converted almost every friend of mine that are just like PlayStation controllers are garbage. And I'm just like, they're not that bad. I just think you just whatever. It's just, and I both of my roommates that are hardcore Xbox people held that and are like, okay, yeah, I really like this. I'm just like, I don't know what it is. They got it better. The triggers feel really nice. Everything feels responsive. People don't respect my opinion because I still think my favorite controller of all time is the N64 controller. I'm one of those weird people that required to be able to play it on 3 hands. But
okay, Goro.
But the DualSense is really good. I can have no complaints about that controller. I can't wait the fact that now they've released that they're going to have a black and a red one. Where's the blue one, Sony?
Cool.
Yeah, I ordered a black one because it looks really great, and I'm looking forward to it. The only thing that I would like is for Sony to have some kind of answer for the Elite controller, because the Elite Series 2 is my primary.
Isn't that what the Scuff controller or whatever that was?
I have an Elite 2. I have an Elite 2. It's pretty good.
The Elite 2 is my primary controller. I use it for pretty much everything. It's built like what my dad would say, built like a brick shit house. It can take punishment, right?
Yes, it can.
And the metal components and everything, it just feels very smooth. I've always appreciated that, and the level of customization in the tension for both the triggers and for the joysticks. Really nice feature. I would like Sony to see to create an equivalent first party premium PlayStation controller. I think that they can, but for whatever reason they have chosen not to, and have left it to licensees like Scuff and some other companies to create more premium offerings. And I'm sure that those are fine. I just I have a tendency to prefer first party offerings whenever possible.
Yeah.
So there's our controller impressions, everybody.
There we go.
There we go.
Anyways.
Used up all our time now. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no.
All right, guys. No, let's talk about Resident Evil Village. So before you guys talk about it, because you're the experts here, I just want to say, like, for me personally, I love this game. I fucking love this game.
Oh,
dude, I'm like, yeah. I don't love anything lately, and it's like I love this game. Lady D and her daughters and her and just the castle bit, which is the last thing that I finished in the game so far, because I had to kind of rush through what I could before coming onto this show, because I wanted to have some kind of impressions. I think it's some of the most fun gameplay that I've seen in quite some time. I mean, like seriously, like since Final Fantasy VII Remake, maybe. Like, yeah. I'm having so much fun with this game. I'm by no means like a lore expert or anything on Resident Evil, but like I'm just so impressed by, like, you know, when the Umbrella logo shows up later on in the game, I'm just like, dude, that's pretty amazing. By the way,
they explain it. Don't worry.
Spoilers.
It's the weird thing is you almost can't call it the Umbrella logo. That will come up later.
They explain it in some interesting ways.
But it's like, it's so interesting that it's got that connective tissue to the original games as well. Like I love the fact that they're doing that and that they haven't forgotten the roots of the series. Yeah,
because 7 was so disconnected that if you cut off the last 5 minutes, you could legitimately call this not a Resident Evil game. Connection to the franchise wise, gameplay wise, you could, but I'm like, there's not much that connects to this the mainline series. This one, it does.
I love the fact that this game both. Like, I'm so excited to meet these characters in the game, like the daughters and Lady Dimitrescu, and like I'm so excited to meet them in the game. And then when you do meet them in the game, they are terrifying as fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say the horniness doesn't really last as long as you think.
No, she chases you around. She is relentless, and she will kill your ass. She will kill you.
She has so many good insults.
And so many. She's just like insulting you as you go along. It's just like, it's amazing. Like, I love it.
There's 10 million lines from hers, but my favorite one by far is where she freaking will sometimes draw her freaking claws and just yell, "Off with ya head!" Like freaking the Queen of Hearts here. It's awesome.
She really freaked me out. And I
there's one where I think she literally grabs you and goes, "Did you know that your body expands like a hot tea kettle when poked?" It's like,
okay.
Yes.
Does it really?
I don't know. Then again,
but yeah, there are so many like cool moments in the game, and just like Ethan really gets the one thing. Okay, since we're discussing spoilers here, guys, let me ask you this question. So in 7, is there a way that is there something that happens that makes him sort of able to reattach limbs?
They explain it in the end of the game. In 7, they did not.
The best part is. It is totally known that they just wanted to do stupid horse shit in 7. They explain it away in the Resident Evil way. They explain everything in the end of 8. But it's basically they finally put into terms how in every other game where it's like, I just got stabbed and shot 16 times. First aid spray. It's like...
Although Resident Evil 7 is the one where it's like, I just got my fucking arm chopped off. I'm fine now.
Staple
like
it, pour some glue on it.
Actually, there's a scene where like Jack can chop off your foot and just like, zoop, 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 and everyone called like, that's some bullshit. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I mean, that's why Alana Pierce made that comment on Twitter about, like, you know, find somebody who treats you the way that Chem
Fluid treats
Ethan. Yeah, because it's just like
this one game may as well be called Hand Torture the video game, because holy shit, those hands get fucked up.
The worst part is, and I cringe about it every time it's not even a horror moment in the game. You get through a certain point and Ethan is really mad about something, and Ethan has had half of his hand bitten off. And in anger, he strikes his stump hand up against a window. And I quiver in pain thinking about it every time, and he doesn't even react.
Well, to be fair, though, he's been through so much shit where it's like you have to chop it off for him to feel anything.
I get that. But the open-ended, like, raw bone stump is up against the windowsill.
Actually, Ethan's just fucking great in this one because of how ridiculous he is. He has
he really is.
super dad jokes. We'll just go like, "Fuck you, man. I hate this shit." Like, screw you. It's like that's his response to everything, and I love it. It's like he thinks it's, but he says it so confidently, like he thinks it's cool.
He's just like, insults will kill the monsters.
Exactly. Like the best thing is when you beat Lady D, he basically goes, "No, you."
Yeah.
That's basically what he does.
Exactly. She's like, "Curse you, Ethan Winters."
He's like, "You're the one who's cursed.
You're the one who's cursed."
Yeah, but he says it like it's an action line, so it's like he thought that sounded so cool in his head. I love that. That's so bad. It's great.
He's just Arnold Schwarzeneggering it.
Yeah,
I screwed that up. Jesus.
From also, Super Beast, he is unapologetically lame.
Exactly, he is lame, but in a
he is kind of Arnold Schwarzeneggering it.
Kind of.
So,
although,
kind of.
Most Evil Dead moment I've ever seen in a video game is when you're just going, "Oop, I'm going to open up this gate." There goes my hand. Oh, 2 seconds later. Shit. It takes a few seconds for him to realize it.
That freaked me out so hard. I was like, what in the world is happening? Because you can't defend yourself at that point.
No, that scene is like, run.
Yeah. There's a lot of moments in this game. Like, what did you guys think of one of the opening sequences where you have to outrun all the Lycans, all the werewolves that come after you? And then it's like, I had no idea because I just.
Oh, wait.
Like, oh, man.
Which one?
You're talking about the village attack that's kind of like RE7.
Opening.
It's like the church thing with RE4 where it's just can't survive.
Yeah, it's just run, basically. It's just the game teaching you to run
liked
away.
it after the game decided it wanted to do the sequence correctly.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. I played on hardcore, so I died like 30 times, and I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. But then on subsequent playthroughs, I'm like, okay, I think I know how this works now. I like it. But that first time was kind of rough.
There's an undefined moment. There's a moment in the game, Chris, that has an undefined trigger for when it ends. Like you basically you could keep killing, and eventually you have to get stopped by something, and then it's not clear when that happens because you just randomly get dragged into a cutscene where you're thrown on the ground and like punched out, and I'm just like. I sat for 25. I kid you not. I sat for 25 minutes the first time I did it, and nothing happened, and eventually just had to stop. I did the scene again, and 2 minutes later, the cutscene activated. Same difficulty, same everything.
Yeah, the objective just says survive, which is pretty vague.
Especially in a game like that, I can see. Oh, wait a second! I play games to relax and unwind.
Also, the best thing is it starts throwing freaking late game boss enemies at you at a point where it's like, nope.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's basically trying to teach you to be like, no, submit.
Pretty much. It throws like 50 enemies at once on you, and that doesn't happen until late game where you got to fight that many enemies at once.
That's basically Capcom's message throughout this entire marketing campaign and game release, by the way, is just submit.
In so many ways.
In so many ways.
Oh, it sounds. It sounds great. I'm woefully behind on Resident Evil. I think the last one that I played wasn't it RE4 that was on the GameCube?
Yes.
Yeah. Which was great,
and every other game console created sense.
I haven't. I love the GameCube, but
hey, you kind of played RE Village since you've played 4.
I was gonna say this is 4 Redux.
That's cool
in the best way.
Cool. Yeah, sure. No, I need to check. And I've wasn't it 7 that also had a VR mode?
Yeah, there's no VR mode in this one, which annoyed some people, but I think it's because there's a lot of third-person scenes, and that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, I heard that the VR implementation on the 7th one was also really cool.
It was.
Yeah, I definitely have a blind spot with Resident Evil that I need to try and quash one of these days.
Yeah, 7 is a game that you could get in without any prior knowledge. 8 kind of requires some prior knowledge.
But if you just want to play 8, they have a buffer thing that'll show you everything you need to know. Because honestly, you need to know the last 2 hours of that game.
Yes, you will need to have played 7 to a good extent to understand anything.
Yeah,
sure. No, it's understandable.
Because you get a character interaction at a certain point that is just like we have you completely lost if you didn't know about it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Way later.
I know some people get really nervous about the idea that they need to know things ahead of time when they jump into a series. That's never made me nervous. It's just more stuff to try and absorb.
There's a lot of references to 4 and other past games because this is also the 20th anniversary, so they stuff in a lot of Easter eggs. Like In the first 5 minutes, you can pick up a book that's like How to Survive with Guns by Joseph Kendo. And it's like, I know who that is. And then the real subtle one is European Architecture and Their Uses in Castles by George Trevor.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
The last time I sunk any time into a horror game, it's not a genre I go to very often because, well, I'm not really sure why, but I loved Alien Isolation. That game was phenomenal. It was a huge palate cleanser after Colonial Marines in terms of the use of the license. And the first film is my favorite of the series, so more connection to the first film is something that I really appreciated. But I mean, I understand. I'd like to think anyway. I understand just as well as anybody that horror, when utilized well in a video game environment, just it hits differently. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say because there has been some people talking about the horror because some people think this one is less scary compared to 7. I'm actually gonna disagree with that because there's a bit coming up, Kiona, that you will not forget. I'm just gonna say that.
I can't wait.
And overall, the atmosphere is incredibly thick and heavy, and relentless. And it got me quite a few times. Just the slightest moving through the village, sound effect. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yes, yeah, it definitely has that sound design. Here's the thing: Biomutant, like that sound design that they have in that game, especially for combat, horrible. In this game, the sound design for everything is amazing.
The best thing is some of my favorite examples are in the castle where you'll hear the music peak up when Lady D's getting closer to you. But then sometimes that actually be a different character because the middle daughter can just randomly jump scare you by spawning in, and then you won't realize that you think it's the other ones coming in.
Oh, good Lord.
You'll be like crawling through going, oh boy, here she comes. And you hear, roar. I'm like, oh my God.
That freaked me out a few times.
She's the best daughter because she's freaking goofy as shit.
Lady D chasing after me is... I'm just like,
one of my favorite moments was...
On one hand, I'm like, yay. And on the other hand, I'm like,
remember the first night?
Yeah, one of my favorite... What was that?
You're good.
What my favorite moments was I was trying to hide under the staircase to avoid her, and she was just going by when I hear, "Shall I give you a tour?" And then the bee showed up. I'm like, oh shit, gotta run. And then she started going, mother, he's right over here. And then she turned around and was like, thank you, daughter. I'm like, oh, fuck. And she even spawned out going, I think you're gonna like my mother. It's like, oh, I think I will.
I mean, we all kind of do.
We all kind of do. I was
sad. I was really sad about killing them.
I know.
Like, I was like, they don't make villains like this. Really? I have to kill you? Okay.
Especially the youngest one, because the youngest one is like the most romantic, but also the most naive. And she even like dies, like basically crying, I don't want to die. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I know. It's pretty intense, man. It's like,
and then the worst part with like the middle daughter is the one who sadly died of cancer. So it's like, this is just several layers of tragedy.
Did you see that mod that somebody made where for Jeanette Mouse as a kind of like memorial to her, they actually modded in like a little floral like tiara
that's because
the middle daughter wears. Yeah.
Nicole Tompkin and Maggie Robinson did a stream and they requested that and someone did it.
That's cool. That's actually really, really cool. It's neat.
Yes.
It adds a little something.
Yes. She has the most lines. All three daughters are great, but she has the most lines that are just incredibly memorable. It's like, shall I take you alive, dead? I don't care. It's like, mother says you taste terrible, but I think you're delicious.
She's holy crap.
She's great. They're all pretty good
Capcom.
too. Like the oldest daughter has the line that apparently become the meme line where it's like, I can't believe Cassandra caused all this mess.
Yes. That's great. That was a great line.
Yes.
Oh man, cool. Yeah. It's such a good game.
Yes, and this is just the castle section. There's like 3 more to go.
I know, I got 3 more to go, man.
And none of them play at all the same. This is the most RE1, RE2. It's kind of like the police station or Spencer Mansion. The upcoming section, I don't even know what to compare it to. There's a later bit that's more puzzly like RE4. There's more of an actiony bit that's kind of close to RE5. It has kind of everything. It really is a 25th anniversary because it has aspects of all the games you like. And even a little bit of 6,
That's impressive. That's actually well done. Yeah.
Yes. Because don't worry, if you think it's serious now, the goofiness comes in the second half, and it goes full super cheese in ways some people don't like, but I kind of love.
I really don't mind that. I like the sense of humor.
Like you'll get You'll get cheesy lines that are RE4 level. You'll get self-referential nonsense. You'll get madness. You'll get meta jokes. It gets crazy.
That's great. Bring it on. I say bring it on.
Yes, but each of the 4 character lords are actually pretty well defined, although I think Lady D is the most well defined in many ways. The second one's probably Heisenberg. That guy's great.
Heisenberg is awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
I enjoyed him just based on the little interactions that I've seen so far. So
he pops up sporadically throughout the game, and he's probably the most hammy of all the villains, but in that really enjoyable way.
I love the Merchant. Also, he's great.
Oh, the Duke. The Duke is so good.
The Duke, I mean, sorry. Merchant, jeez.
Yes, he's a mysteriously cheery character where he's just like, first class, first service. Mm-hmm.
He's got something to him where I think there's something going on there.
Yeah, what is hunger without life?
Yeah, there's definitely something weird.
Oh, yeah.
But, okay. Anybody else want to add their final impressions? It's getting a little late, so I think we should.
Oh, yeah. I think I may have talked too much about it.
Oh, you're good, man.
Brock, what do you think of the game overall?
I don't want to get too much into it because there's actually some party pooper opinions I have on it. I do say that I like the game, but I do have some serious issues with it.
You can go into it a little bit.
In my opinion, that game should be 10 hours longer.
Yeah, but that'd be RE8 or RE6 length.
No, it would not. RE6 has 4 full-length campaigns that are 15 hours each.
Yeesh.
Yeah, that one...
Not even remotely close to RE6.
Well, this is about 12 hours. I think it took me on all 3 of my playthroughs, so that's a little bit longer. I think RE7 is about like 10 hours, 11 hours at most.
It's going to be one of those people that I'm just like, I am nowhere near as hyped as everybody else is on Lady D.
That's fair, though. Yeah,
it's just in my opinion, it was a person that, and I get it, it is a great character, but in my opinion, and I've asked people who don't play Resident Evil and weren't going to play the game, if you go by her and it's been clocked, if you get everything from her, it's a subtotal of 6 minutes. If you don't count her cutscene in the beginning, it has 6 minutes of lines, and then it's done. And I've had people talk about her like she's the second coming of Wesker.
Because she has the qualities of it, but not the screen time. But she's not a good comparison to Wesker. A good comparison is Jack Baker's screen time in RE7, which, if you actually count it, is not as long as people think.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it gets to the point of where I'm like, this game should be 10 hours longer, because it's like you almost had her entirety of her in the trailers.
Yes, but I think I was done so that you would not focus on the other things in the game.
Well, I get that, but it still creates the same issue. Yeah. You almost had all of her in the trailers.
That also was the marketing department realizing they struck gold by accident and just doubling down, because that was never expected.
I know,
so it's
but
kind of like an overhyped sort of issue for you.
That's it. It was a thing where it's, and I get that it's whatever. And the other huge problem that I has with talking to other people, you could have the same exact character with the same exact traits, be whatever, and if it was a male, the hype would die by 90%, in my opinion.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, but I can't imagine anyone else getting a performance that good as Maggie Robertson.
You wouldn't know unless someone tried it.
Yeah.
That's the point for me, where that if 90% of who I talk to think the character's interesting because they want to fuck her, in my opinion,
that's honestly, it's
kind of a sticking point.
Not even the most interesting thing about her for me.
I get that, but that is people who have not played the game and people who have that I've talked to. I'm not saying it's everyone, but it's a giant chunk of who I have talked to and how it's presented in almost every meme and everything that I've seen. That is just me. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. It's just that, and it's a problem that I have with the 4 of them all together. A lot of them are great characters, and I'm not saying Lady D's bad, but there are 4 really good ideas that should have had a good 5 hours each extra. Like,
I wouldn't have been against that.
That all of them could have been worlds better. And it's because you kind of just, on a regular playthrough, I barely felt like I got to know any of them. And I won't spoil anything, but at the end, each one of them turn into borderline the same exact character because of one exact person in the game. And I won't spoil it. They all basically turn into the same character with a slightly different flavoring on them. Again, in my humblest opinion, because they all complain about the exact same thing at the end, just with a little bit.
I don't think they complain about the exact same thing. There's an undercurrent of family, but it's handled differently with each character, I feel. some more sorrowfully, some more sympathetically, some just assholishly.
That's what I meant by the slightly different flavorings on it.
Yeah, I consider that pretty different personally.
Well, okay.
Like the one thing I will note that I was very surprised by was just with Lady D, they doubled down on her being a good mother, because that was a genuine surprise to me. Like, this character with RE villains, it's always like, oh well, there goes my henchman, didn't need them, blah blah blah. This one's like, no, she genuinely cares in a way that's kind of distressing if you're a parent.
Okay, I'm going to stop us right there because Chris has to go. So we're going to go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt your conversation, but gentlemen, I appreciate the invitation. Thank you. I'm sorry that I have to bug out a little bit early. I know that we're almost at the end, but I've just
it's all good, man.
Is there anything that you want to go ahead and promote real quick before you go?
Oh, sure. So I'm part of a few different podcasts. The first primary one is probably the Comic Binge with my buddy Paul Herman.
Nice.
Where we go through comic book stories that you can usually easily absorb through either Marvel Unlimited or DC Universe or Comixology Unlimited. And we try to just talk about cool stories, stuff that's easily bingeable and stuff that's stuck with us. We've done really classic stories up through modern stuff. So it's always fun. If you're into comics, check it out. I also have Discovery Debrief, which is my Star Trek podcast. We just recorded a couple of episodes. One of our panelists had just seen Star Trek Insurrection and Star Trek Nemesis for the first time. So we talked about those movies briefly from the perspective of someone who actually just recently absorbed The Next Generation in its entirety. So that was kind of a fun discussion. And then I'm also working on additional episodes of my comic book video game podcast, Comics on Consoles.
Awesome.
Which will
Yay.
provide some reviews for all of the comics-based video games that came out in 2020. So that's Miles Morales, it's the Avengers, and it's Iron Man VR. Two of them are very good. One of them we talked about. So, and then I'm on Twitter at Chris Clow. So come say hi.
Awesome. All right, Chris. Thank you so much for coming on board, and of course, we'll have you back again.
Of course, I'm glad the stars aligned. It's good to meet you, gentlemen. I'm glad that we had a chance to connect, and hopefully we can do it again. But thanks again. Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
All right, Chris. Have a good one.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
Yeah. All right. See you. All right. Sorry about that, Tyler. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No problem.
Yeah, Brock, you know what, dude? I completely understand what you're saying. I think that you bring up some really, really good points in that.
But I will say is the marketing never said that she would be the main villain. That is one thing.
I know, and I didn't say it did. That wasn't what my issue was. My issue was just that you saw almost a bit in there, and then that was it, and it was done, and it was over. That's all I was getting at. I never claimed that they did. That wasn't
I understand. I will say they emphasize that character a lot, again, because of the internet, probably because they also didn't want to spoil what comes afterwards, because the things that come afterwards was in none of the trailers at all.
I know, and that's another thing, again, just because it's an RE game, that, again, everyone's entitled, and I had fun with it. Later points of that literally stopped being an RE game. Whole stop completely. It's still fun.
You're talking about the last major stage, aren't you?
I'm talking about the last major stage. I'm talking about the second major stage.
Okay,
the second major stage is less RE, but in a very unique direction that I'm okay with. That last stage is not my favorite. I think it drags on a little too long, but I thought it was still unique, especially because, God, can't believe someone saw Tetsuo the Iron Man and liked it.
Yeah, it's
if anything, you guys are just making me want to play through it even more. So
everyone
totally good with it.
Everyone has their own opinions. I just said there was stuff that, like I said, that game, in my opinion, could have been the best RE game if, like I said, it needed a lot more polishing. And you, in my opinion, run through everyone to the main villain. And in my opinion, you could have gotten a half a game out of each and every one of them, and it would have made them actually good as what everyone else is saying as they are.
I would have liked more screen time with some of these characters, but I also admit that it could have messed with the pacing really badly.
The biggest problem for me was how it's paced.
Yeah.
Me, personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There will be DLC, though. So that'll probably flesh it out, because I've looked at the sales figures. It's breaking every Resident Evil record there ever was, so there will be DLC. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, guys. I think we've about hit the end point here for this episode. we did run a little bit long. So
okay,
but that's good. I mean,
last question
we had
for
a
Brock,
lot
though,
to talk about.
how much do you like it compared to 7? I'm just curious.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it a little bit more than 7, but I'm genuinely terrified of the direction it's going in because it's
That's
literally
the one thing I will agree with,
stopped being Resident Evil.
That next game, I'm very like, I don't know where you're gonna take this.
And that's one of the things why like 8 played a lot better and had a lot more fun moments. 7 was a focused thing that felt like a full thing. 8 started getting into territories of, well, we haven't done that yet. Let's throw her in there.
Is it like 6?
No.
6 tried to be a Call of Duty game with Resident Evil characters.
Right.
8, there's points where it feels like you're playing PT and Doom Eternal.
Interesting. Yes, that is interesting.
And give or take, they are still fun as hell to play, but it's not a Resident Evil game at points. And
yeah, that
kind of terrifies me.
Yeah, Doom Eternal's like towards the end. The final boss, I think, is pretty damn great because RE7.
The final boss is amazing in this game.
Yes, RE7 had no final boss. Amazing. It was a cutscene where you shoot a freaking wall.
Yeah, this game has one of the most visually striking. There's points of it that are clunky, but that to me is because it's in first person and it's really claustrophobic in where it's centered. If you would have had a little bit more space, it could have been better. Mm-hmm. Like not a ton. I mean, like 5 feet would have been fine. But the last boss is just the last like hour and a half of that game is insane and it's great.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite final bosses in the whole series because the game does not end on a poor note, unlike a lot of Resident Evil games where it's just like, we gave up. This one, no, they have one of my favorite all-time scores for a boss where it's like we're adding in freaking Latin chants and like fast-moving cellos. The boss is like 7 forms and it goes on for 10 minutes and there's tons of It's amazing.
And one thing I will say about this game that I do like that they do not do in other games is it's very, 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 very heavily centered on actually like story.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. For the love of God, there was cutscenes in the other RE games, but this was the first one where we're like, we want you to give a shit.
Yeah.
Attempt that more.
Yeah, it's like, no matter how you mentioned that there was an emotional moment in 7, it's like, well, this is the peak of emotion in this series. Fuck that scene. They can topped it in the ending of this one. Holy shit, it goes some places.
It's part of what scares me, but it's presented in a very good way. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly.
Okay.
I have very complex feelings about this game. Everyone that heard me complaining, it's my favorite game I played this year outside of the Mass Effect trilogy, which is because it's the Mass Effect trilogy. Yeah. I'm complaining because I'm being a nitpicky asshole, and that's just
I understand.
me.
I can nitpick a few details too, but I'm like,
it's still an 8 to me. That's the weird part. It's still an 8 to me. It's just if there was a strange thing, it could have been a fucking 11 in my opinion.
Yeah.
Also, and this is something also blew my mind. Like, okay, RE7 had an end song that's fucking amazing. You probably have heard it. It's the Go Tell Aunt Rhody like cover. This game actually manages to top it. They wrote an original song that's kind of, remember how the opening scene is like a storybook that's like Leica style, which is amazing intro. They wrote a song that's from the perspective of that storybook that matches up to the overall game story. And they got this Swedish singer who sounds a lot like Bjork, and it's amazing.
Speaking of that opening cutscene, there's someone, I don't care who, make an animated movie that looks identical to that.
It's a Polish, I had to look at it. It's a Polish animation studio that does stuff in the vein of like Leica. Because it did feel a little bit like Coraline. So
it did. But that might have been the most beautiful thing I've seen on this system to date.
Yeah, that might be one of my favorite Resident Evil intros, period. Because that dragged me in so quickly.
I was like, I'm playing in a Resident Evil game? What? What? It's like they're trying. That's like, that was one of the points where they tried a new thing and it was great. They tried a lot of new things. Some didn't hit, some didn't. I'm really interested to see what the hell you as an outside perspective says at the end of all this. You will enjoy it. Again, nitpicky asshole over here, just a couple of things that would have been better. I'm a guy that likes longer games in general. I like longer games in general too. Yeah. But this one, it's like, it's very replayable because you can skip cutscenes, unlike 7. Because like 7 was terrible to like freaking replay because that intro takes like an hour and there's no skipping of those cutscenes. Like, I love 7. 7's like a strong 9 to me, but it had 3 problems. 1, the cutscenes you couldn't skip. That was a pain. Second,
the later part after the baker starts to kind of suck. I like the boat more than most people, but it's not great.
3, the last mission in that game sucks.
Yes, the mine sucks.
It's terrible.
And then the third biggest problem, there's only like 4 enemy types you fight. Molded. This game, oh no. They fix that so quickly where it's like, here's some lichens, here's some super lichens, here's some even bigger lichens, here's some zombies.
I hate those damn molded zombies.
Yeah,
the moldy boys, I hate them.
You could just slam their door in the face and they would just go, oop, can't beat this.
There's the thing, Kiona. When you go back to 7, they cannot open doors.
Yeah. Ultimate bioweapon, right? Can't open a fucking door.
Every enemy in that game outside of Jack Baker cannot open a door. So if you're having trouble, just shut the door.
I saw a video of them trying to find like the one key that I got stuck on. And what happened with one of the molded guys is that he just let him outside the room and he just basically died.
That's exactly. That's it. They can't open doors and they just evaporate. They suck.
Yeah, I was like, boy, if I had used that the whole time, I would have just like lured them all outside the door.
Those are the only thing you fight the whole game. That they suck. Yeah. They're not a good design. They're not implemented well.
They remind me of the enemies in the Suicide Squad movie.
Oh my god, yeah, they kind of do.
The broccoli heads.
Oh, I will give them credit that if they were going to start over with something, that they played it safe. Yeah. And then went on. It's just that, they moved away from that quickly, and that was a good thing.
Yeah.
And
in 8, like if the lichens, they can open doors, they can kick down your freaking door.
Yep.
Yeah, those things.
They dodge and weave a lot better. They're just a far better enemy, and I love that they stalk you. Where it's like the first time I saw that they were just standing there, I'm like, I can sneak by them, right? Okay, I think I'm doing good.
That's what I thought at first.
And they're like, no, they're waiting for you.
And not to spoil anything, Kiona.
Okay.
But just so that you don't miss it, go back to areas once you're done with them.
Yes,
they will add
extra boss fights.
Extra bosses, extra enemies will actually show up that are harder.
There's 3 boss fights that are completely optional, and you will not get them if you don't just at random go back to like Louisa's house. There's just a giant fucking lichen that's just there.
Like a super werewolf with like spear sticking out of his head.
No, it's just a dude you never see until you just go there.
And the game never says go over there.
It never says go over there. After a certain amount of time, you go back there, and there's 2 other. There's one that you just go to random, but there's one other one that you need to go back to that I can think of on the top of my head. Just go back to random spots.
What you're thinking of is the strong. Okay, the 2 you're thinking of is the next section. When you're done with that, you got to go back, and you'll find a bug boss. And then when you're late in the game, there's like a pathway where it says go right or go left. Go left. That's your boss.
Yep,
I wanted to go back to the castle anyway because I never finished that puzzle. That's the one in the save room. That's like
the wall puzzle.
I love those things. They're like mini putt golf. It's pretty fun.
They're all a pretty standard difficulty till you get to the 4th one.
Yeah, the 4th one sucks my balls. That one,
that sucks.
But that's one you can't actually backtrack into locations once you beat them, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shame.
It's so weird. And Pat from 2 Best Friends brought this up. Like the only way it is a weird thing to where it plays like Dark Souls. You have a hub area, and then you go to the bosses and go back. There's some areas through random backtracking that you get random paths later on that you can get in. Something like the castle itself, you cannot get back into.
So how are you supposed to solve that puzzle? Because I don't think you can get the piece, right?
No, the piece is in the castle.
There's all like in in the first area, it's in there. In the second area, you get it outside of it. In the third area, you get it outside of it.
Yes.
So it's just essentially optional content then.
Yeah.
It's an optional thing to unlock like a thing where you can sell it for a lot of money.
The 4th one. Look all over everywhere in that 4th area because there's a bunch of shit you can miss if you're not paying attention.
Okay.
And to be fair, I missed a lot too. Like I missed her lipstick the first time I played because I didn't know you could grab that.
And like RE4, you can make a bunch of treasure and put it together that you don't find unless you look.
If it says combinable, do not sell it.
I remember I remember the ring thing. I got the ring with the combinable thing on it.
Yeah, there's one later in the game where there's like 3 pieces, and it's like this takes all this. Yeah, it's a necklace. It's actually, I think it's one of the daughter's necklaces.
I would imagine that if you sell it without combining,
it's either her or Lady D's. I don't remember what it's called. It's one of their necklaces.
It's called the. By the way, just so I can say it, you pronounce it Domitresque with a hard spin on the T, but it's one of the daughter's necklaces.
Okay. Yeah, and then you get 2 jewels. Yeah, they're
also another pro tip. If you get animals, don't sell them to the Duke. You got to wait for him to unlock the kitchen.
Damn.
There's a kitchen where you you'll get more. You'll get more, obviously. And then if you want to keep replaying it, it has the dumbest way to implement New Game Plus, in my opinion, ever. Where to do New Game Plus, you go back to an old save file and just load it again. You don't get a start New Game Plus. You have to go back to your save file that you beat the game with, press start on it, and then you activate New Game Plus. It's not like start a new game. Would you like to do New Game Plus? Load this. It's no, you go to your saved file that you beat the game with, you load it, and then it ticks over, starting you into New Game Plus where you can get different weapons.
Do they explain that?
No.
Oh, that's dumb.
Not at all.
Holy shit. Okay.
I had to look it up.
Really stupid.
Yes, but the New Game Plus is a lot better than RE7's one where you get to keep all your weapons, plus all your ammo, and all your money.
And all your mods that you get with the Duke, which was what I was going to bring up, to where if you sell it and you don't finish a formula, don't be upset. You'll start it over and you'll get it on the next one, because I got all of them but one in one playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
And there's a lot better bonus items in RE7 because you can unlock some insane nonsense.
You can get a fucking lightsaber in RE.
You can unlock a lightsaber.
A dual-sided lightsaber.
Darth Maul lightsaber.
Switch to
red, green, and blue.
Red, green, and blue.
Blue is ultimate block. You do no damage. Green is you get health.
Kill people, it takes damage, right? Green.
Green is you get health back from killing stuff, and red is just like one hit kill everything.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yes, nice. That's if you get the mercenaries mode after you beat the game, and then you got to get double S on all the maps. So that takes a while to get.
Yeah.
You also can unlock a freaking rocket pistol, a super ultimate death magnum, a freaking like sniper pistol, super shotgun.
That steak magnum is the shit.
Although I will say, the Wolfhound, the Wolfbane. It's pretty. It's an 1851, and it's the sexiest revolver I think I've seen in the game in a while.
It's one of the prettiest looking revolvers ever.
This game was made for me because the 1851 is from BioShock Infinite, my favorite game of all time. And the game takes place on February the 9th. My birthday is the 10th. The final boss takes place on my birthday. It's like this game was like, we're going to make a game for Tyler. He's going to fucking love it. You know what? Fucking did.
All right. On that note, guys, we have reached the kill screen. That is the end of our show.
Yeah. It is my game of the year so far, and I do not expect to see it top unless like something really amazing comes out suddenly.
Well, we still have Dying Light. We still have Horizon.
Horizon maybe is the only thing that could come close.
Horizon will be the thing that likely beats it for me if it comes out this year.
If it does, yeah. That's the one if.
That's the if, yeah. But all right, guys. So, Tyler, where can everybody find you online before we close this out?
No, they can find me, the lady of the house, and BioShock WD at Twitter. That is just me talking about history and occasionally getting retweets from Resident Evil voice actors for some reason. Go figure.
That's BioWD, right?
BioWD, correct. I'm in quite a few Discords for historical subjects, mostly cynical history, and I'm in the Facebook group a lot where if you just type in the name Resident Evil 8 or Red Lady D, I will be there. Do not worry.
All right, Brock, where can we find you?
Other than here. Exactly where we are. On this Twitch channel, which someone has been watching from the Twitch channel, I noticed for this whole time. Mike, I don't know if that's you. You were the one watching last time. Yeah, I need to get up my confidence again on Twitch streaming. I kind of fell into a shitter of self-confidence on a lot of things. But yeah, I will get better at it, I swear. Yeah, if I be there at Organoid Zero on YouTube, which I need to start uploading Neon Genesis for fresh takes because we have a good backlog of that. And then
man, that's partially my fault too.
It's all good. I haven't even uploaded them to YouTube, so you couldn't even get them from me if you wanted to. But yeah, we'll get going on that. That's all I basically have, and then I'll have a project with Kiona in the future on that.
Yes, sir. We definitely have something coming. Okay, so at Organoid Zero for you.
Yes. Absolutely.
And then
for banner at Tyler for next time, I need to get a banner info and thingy made for you because I have one for everybody else.
Okay, I'll totally just do that.
Yeah. All right, and yeah, like he says right there, twitter.com/RenPopCulture, Ren Not Stimpy, also facebook.com/RenPopCulture is where you can find our official pages. The group is at Facebook.com/group/RPC42. You can also find everything that you need for RPC on renegadepopculture.com. That's where we have all of our articles, all of our show notes, all of our shows, everything basically. Fresh Takes is on there. I have to upload one more, actually 3 more for Gurren Lagann. Yes. And that's about it for me, guys. If you guys want to add me on Steam, it's Neoplasmic24. Also, just pretty much go ahead and do that. So, all right, guys, this has been a long episode. I'm so sorry, but it's been very, info packed. We had a lot to get through today. So it's our pre-E3 special. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Summer Games Fest is coming up. E3 is coming up. Should be a lot of info. We will see you guys next Thursday.